What's up, man? It's your man Big Jack sitting up in here chilling, um, live. I just sitting there watching and bouncing through a lot of other people live shows, what they call live hopping. So I'm just going live hopping. Then I said, hey, let me take a stop, see what's up, see what's going on, check it out, and, see who's still out there. So I've been using the StreamYard program. So if it don't look like it's real, but it's all real. So go live with me, YouTubers. Let's come on up here, see what's going on. So Big Jack is live at this time. This is not a fake. This is not a restream or any kind of way. This is me going live, hanging out, just trying to see what's up out there and who's out there. Then this we get a good day. We was on here earlier today live. Had the opportunity to see it was a good day. Had the opportunity to see up to 8 people on StreamYard today, and that was pretty cool. Having everybody out there, that was pretty cool to have that many people on. I do put down in the chat, if you want to come on in here, you're more than welcome. There's the link down in the chat. If you want to pop in, you're more than welcome. Hang out with me. We're just hanging out. Just another night that's getting ready to wind down. And as it winds down, we're that's it. That's what's up. This is real talk. When you come on here, now we're talking the real deal, Holyfield, nothing but the thrill, doing our thing, making it happen, all the same. So I just want to thank everybody that did come out earlier today. It was fun. Enjoyed myself. I really did. Having so many guests on, um, and we had some real talk. There's some real conversations that came out of that, and that's what's up. So that's what you're looking for, and that's what you need. So if you're out there right now, you want to jump on in here, you're more than welcome. Come on in here and let's talk about it. We got the Iron Shopping and Iron shows tomorrow. That's going to be 8 o'clock. Well, sorry, it's 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, and then you also have the after show, which is going to be 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So that's what's up. So that's what we got cooking for tomorrow. So if you want to go live, it's in the comments. You want to come on in here, you're more than welcome. It's Big Jack story time, and we're on the Real Talk live with Big Jack. And this is where we just talk live. We talk real talk. That's what I'll be doing. That's what I'm up to. If you're out there and you're bouncing around looking for a place to come, you're more than welcome to stop by, say hi. What's up? Come on in and say hi. You ain't got to stay long, and you can't say nothing wrong. And if you do, we cut you off. That's the big thing right there. Throw a couple of tickers in there. Yeah, but that's what's up. That's what's up. And I know it's a lot of other lives maybe going on right now, all over the country, all over the world. And that's what you gotta do sometimes, man. We all out here trying to get our hustle on, trying to get our groove on. And I can't fault nobody for doing their thing, man. So that's what you up to, that's what you into. You keep doing you. You keep doing you, and you're gonna be all right. 100%. I'm in here chilling. If you want to come in and go live, you're more than welcome. This link is up there. Just hit that link, and you can come on in. You can we'll put you on the big screen. You'll be live. Only doing YouTube right now. So, Clay's Closet, how you doing? What's going on, sir? Yeah, I'm doing well. Just sitting there chilling. It's one of those wrap down or wrap up the night or in the morning, and I figured I'd go live just a little bit. I've been live hopping in between the different lives and seeing what was going on. And then I said, hey, I'm gonna go on before I go down. So if you want, the link is there. If you want to pop in, you're more than welcome. You click that link and come on in. We're on StreamYard as a program. So and it is live on YouTube. So you're more than welcome if you want to come in. If not, I'm just saying hello, and I thank you for coming in and saying hello to me because it's been a long day and it's an early morning. But looking forward to the Iron Shopping Iron Show tomorrow, which is at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday. Well, today, really, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And then the after show is 8 o'clock Eastern Time, where we do Real Talk Live with Big Jack. And we try to have 4 or 5 extra guests on here. And we all come in and we do our, chit and chatting and talking and things like that. So if you want to come in, you're more than welcome. Come on in. Uh, yeah, definitely would like talking with you. But if not, oh well. So we move on and keep it going. There you go. But yeah, so just another day. Good to see you. Good to see you out there. Thank you for even dropping a little note in the chat because that's how I know that you're out there. That's how we know we got people watching. And so how are you doing, Clays? How's everything going? Yeah. So talk to me. And like I said, if you want to come on in, you're more than welcome. Uh, Click that link and you can come right on in there and say hey, and that's what's up. So if you want to, you're welcome. So we're live right now on YouTube. I didn't go any other social media platform. Um, Still got to look at some things and work some things out because we had 8 people on earlier today, but all 8 wasn't able to go live in their own channels. So I got to figure out um, what program did I get, what level did I get, because my understanding was that everybody should have been able to go live, but we'll figure that out. But other than that, it just it was a long day. We did the live earlier today, which was cool. We do got the Iron Shopping Iron Show tomorrow. Got a wonderful guest that's going to be on with me. So if you got a chance to check that out, please do. It's 7 o'clock Eastern time, and then we definitely let me see. You live in Dallas, and for the most part, I've been for the most part, but 30 years ago, I moved to Connecticut with his family. Okay, all right. So you live in Dallas, and for the most part, I've always lived here for the most part. But 30 years ago, I moved to Connecticut with his family. Okay, all right. I was lucky enough to drive down to Atlantic City. Oh wow, okay. Oh, yeah, that's the whole thing. Real deal Holyfield. So, Holyfield was he's definitely an amazing boxer. He definitely I like his style, like the way he got into the ring. But if you ever seen him live, then you definitely been blessed. I've never seen him fight live, like in the fight or in person. I've only seen it on TV or pay-per-view and things like that. But he was definitely of course, Holyfield and the Mike Tyson situation with the ear and all that, but you can tell without a doubt that Holyfield had a lot of class. I remember Holyfield and George Foreman. So he went out. He's a true champion. Definitely, was a beast in the ring and all of that. So yeah, if you had a chance to see him, you're really cool. That's really cool. He's how lucky. So Okay, yeah. So I've never been to a professional boxing match. To say I was live at a professional boxing match, I did a lot of WWE, the wrestling, and of course all the other sports, but never a live professional boxing. I've never done it. Hey, my time, what's going on, man? I was just hanging out, chilling. I was gonna wrap up the day, and then I said, hey, let me come on here and talk a little bit and see what's going on. Got Clay's Closet in there, and we're talking about Evander Holyfield and how he was able to see him live, fight live, and that's cool as it can be. Um, So you say you get to go to a lot of the local games, and that's cool. So the local games, are you still in Dallas or you in Connecticut? So I'm just trying to see which locals are you watching. I say you live in Dallas, but you spend okay. So yeah. So but that's what's going on. So you get to watch the Cowboys and the Mavericks and things like that. So I used to have to go to Dallas. It was a time in my one of my careers, and I was based. Well, the base was in Dallas, Texas. So I remember being out there in Dallas a lot. So but it's a nice little area out there, and plus you got a lot of good sports teams out there that you get to watch some good games if and the stadiums is big enough. You probably could catch a lot of good concerts and other things like that that's going on out there. So in Dallas. So what's going on with you, my time? How are things going out there for you? How's your day been? It's a great live today. Really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, Dapper put out some true knowledge, man. I was as he was talking, and I'm like, wow, things that yeah, when you for me, I'm not monetized, so some things you don't even think about. You're thinking like you gotta try to get your hours and stuff like that, but to have someone put down real talk on the ins and outs and some things not to do so you won't get jammed up. We need that information. So it was really good that he came out and spilled that knowledge for us. Spent about a year and a half up there and had some promotional jobs, early 2000s. Okay, all right. What's up? That's what's up. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast, but I'm not that far north on the East Coast. So I'm right in that DMV area, the Washington D.C. area. So that's why I am on the East Coast of the U.S. But like I say, I've been to Dallas a lot. Matter of fact, I was just down there last summer for a conference. Um, but uh, but yeah, that's cool. That's cool, Clay. That's cool. Yeah. So that was the best thing when lived up there was talking to my dad in Baseball Hall of Fame. Was seeing Army Navy play. Yeah, getting the game of original Boston. Oh yeah, yeah, all of that. Everything you're saying is 100%. Now I've seen the Army Navy play. I've never been to the Baseball Hall of Fame, but I've been to the Football Hall of Fame, which is in Ohio, and I've never been inside the Garden, even though I've seen the Celtics play. I've never been in the Garden. I mean, yeah, the Boston Garden. So yeah, game. But but it's all good. Yeah, but that's cool that you getting that experience. That's good. And the best part, a lot of it, you're saying with your dad. So that's pretty cool to even be able to do that and say those words because your dad either taking you and then you going with him. That's really special right there. Yeah. So my time, that's we got the Iron Shop and Iron Show tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm looking for some people to come on for the after show. So if you're not busy at 8 o'clock p.m., please come in and be one of the guests, panelists for the after show. Definitely need some people to come in and be on that after show panel. So if you got the time at 8 p.m. Eastern, after the Iron Shop and Iron original show, come on in and be a panelist if you don't mind. I appreciate that. We just need some people, to come on and have a deeper conversation about what we heard. So yeah, but that's what's up. That's what's up. But it's just one of those. I mean, it's been a good day. Been live earlier today. Those you already know that, and it's still trying to get used to this StreamYard uh, program, and build those hours. That's not the goal to get there, but now it's like I want to get there because it's like that's the next step. What's the next step? You get the subscribers and you get your hours, and also, I mean, it's just like what's the next steps in this? I love this part, being live. That's perfect for me. But it's still, it's almost like that low hanging fruit lingering over, and it's like just go ahead and get it out the way. So Clay's now because you had some Northeast experience. So what's your favorite team? So is it your teams down in Texas or your teams up north? What's your favorite teams, Clay? And with that being said, we know next week will be the Super Bowl. Who do you got? What team do you think is going to pull out this Super Bowl? Is it going to be the Chiefs or the Eagles? Which one would you, if you was a betting person, and I'm not saying you are or not, I don't know if you are or not, but if you were, which one would you put your money on? Which ones would you say going to pull this game out? Yeah, so yes, I found you when you went live on that show the other day, and I couldn't even tell how I found him. What's Diamond Shopping and Iron? Let's see, the other night, again, it literally. Miles McWalker Ministry Music, how you doing? Cool stream guys. Good question. Oh, I don't know which team, man. Yeah, please throw that question out there. What team are you going for? So Iron Sharpening Iron is that's something that I have a show every Wednesday, every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, where I bring on different guests, content creators through YouTube and all, or what different guests, just different guests with different backgrounds and all. And we just discuss who they are. They tell us it's almost like a question and answer type show, but their skills align with my skills is like they say that iron sharpening iron. They're showing me about who they are and telling me the struggle for being a content creator or whatever they were doing and their success stories, and because they're getting stronger or their skills and their ideas or their strengths align with mine make me stronger, and together the iron sharpening iron, we help each other out. So it's a talk show where I have different guests on. I'm booking up my March dates right now, and then from there, the and then from that, we have an after show. So at 8 p.m. So the show is from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then at 8 p.m. I have different guests on because StreamYard allows me to have up to 10 guests, but the goal is normally we'll get up to about four. I'll say 4 or 5 people. We get on here and we'll discuss a deeper conversation about what was talked about in the original 7 to 8 p.m. show. So that's how we get to Ashana. I'll never say I'm killing that name right. You don't know why I can never get your name right. Now, Anisha. Yeah, I think I got it right. I hope I said it right that time. Yes, and thank you. Thank you for being on the show today. That was really special having you for sure. But yeah, so that's what the show is all about. And we get different guests. I'm open to anyone being a guest on the show. And how we do this is you get the email that's probably running across the ticker now. You send me an email, and I will definitely send you I send you an email, and that's how we start the conversation, and then we'll book a date for you. So if that's something that you're interested in, send me an email. Let's get you lined up, and we'll get you in. We're now, like I say, right now we're around the middle of March for the next open date, but we're also looking for people to be on the panel for the Iron Sharpening Iron after show. So in the Iron Sharpening Iron after show, we look for panelists to come on and people that's going to have. So normally it's 4 to 5 people come on, and we just have a deeper conversation about the original show that day. So you think of the show is every Wednesday and every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then the after show is 8 p.m. to around 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we have a good time. We have this. We've already had 10. What they say, 10 episodes. So we're already at 10 episodes, and it's all over the world. And people from every angle. We've had students in high school. We've had students in college. We've had older content creators who are just getting started. We've had, like, say, you talk about the person that was dealing with the fish aquariums and all. We've had different angles from all over, and I've really been having a good time with getting the guests on and having. So that's what the Iron Sharpening Iron show is all about. And the after show is even cooler. Now the after show is new. And that's correct, Miles. That's correct. So it's Wednesdays, it's Sundays and Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So the next Iron Sharpening Iron show is today, which is Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then we have the after show at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, and what I do is drop the link in there. Oh, I appreciate that, Anisha. I really do. I appreciate it. We're trying to get it and have some fun with it. So, but what I do is put the link in, like I got the link in there now in the chat, and then anyone who wants to come on in, just come on in, and they be part of the show as well. So that's how we get you as a panelist, and we try to keep it fair. And the big thing with any of this shows, definitely with my shows and a lot of people, especially in the communities I hang in, we try to keep it respectful and we try to keep it clean, because my mom even comes in here and watch the show, so I want to make sure that that it's clean. My games, what's up, my brother? I seen you on your live, and I ain't want to disturb too much because you were doing some real teaching. So I said, let me hop around, but that's what's up. So hello and thank you for coming in here. But yeah, so that's what the Iron Sharpening Iron show is. Down the first time we did the after show was last week. So that was the first time we did the after show. So we're still working out a lot of the kinks on the after show, Miles, but it's starting to come out. So today we ran or yesterday now because we're past midnight, but we ran a test. So and had a couple of people that's in this chat now that was on there, and we got up to 8 people on StreamYard today, and it was amazing to have those people in, and we was all conversing and TikTok, and then we had a content creator that came in that's he got 95,000 followers or subscribers, and he came in and dropped some real knowledge on us as content creators on how to build our channels and be successful with it. So those are the things that's what it's all about. So my the Big Jack story time and the Iron Sharpening Iron is all about really using live to help boost your channel and help you network with others and let people see who you are. So I can go and watch your video 100%, and I still don't get to really know who you are because I'm only watching what you're going to put out. But when you're on here and you're on a show and you're live and you're hearing, or I'm asking you questions and then people are hearing you give your answer, people will go to your channel and become, subscribers of you because they liking what you're saying. Or sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But that's where the whole gist of it is. It's more to boost you up. I believe 100% we are stronger together. So if we're stronger together, and then it goes on, if each one would just reach one, then we all can grow and glow. So that's what we're trying to do. And that's what the Iron Sharpening Iron, the show and the after show is all about right there. And now that we got StreamYard, it's like, wow, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 10 people. That's just crazy to have that many people on at one time and having real talk conversations. So that's what it is. And I hope I answered your question, Clay, if that's what you wanted to know, and Miles, what the show is all about. So, but that's what it is. So I'm still looking for guests. I'm still looking for some people that's going to help me fill up my March times. So send me that email and so that we can get you on here. Thank you. And we had musicians on. In fact, we had the Heavy Hitters band. So it's just all different angles. So it's just so many different angles and so many different people. And we're lining up that March. February is full, and it's exciting. I am so excited about the February lineup because of all the different people we got and the different ideas, and also it's definitely Joe. How you doing, Joe? Welcome back, my friends. What's up? Yeah, thank you for coming in and hanging with me. You're always welcome. You know that for sure. You're always a welcome. And thank you. So it's been a long day. For those who did know, yesterday I left in the PM because I had to go to a game. My kid did not. His team didn't win, but it was a good game all the way to the end. It's just one of those. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, and they just didn't pull it out. But they were missing a key player from their team, and my kid got, he got banged up pretty bad on one of the shots, and even though he finished the game, but he was in a lot of pain, and he still is in a lot of pain. So, they're out there playing tough, and I have to respect that. I probably was a little bit too tough on him because he was in a lot of pain. And you try to get him up and get him through the pain so he can finish the game and all. But that takes a lot. And so, as a parent, you want to be a parent, but then as a as a player, you're also saying, man, you gotta push through this thing, because if you can push through it, you'll come out on the other side. You'll finish the game, and you're gonna be as successful as you can be. But then you got to go back to the parent, because once that adrenaline wear off, then you're right back to, I could really feel all the pain. So, but anyway, they lost the game, but that doesn't change the fact that he's still my kid. I'm still his dad, and they always have another game. They'll play another game next week. So you just learn from your mistakes in this one and get ready for the next one. So somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. I don't care what sport you play. That's just the way it works. So a question did go out about what teams are we pulling for next Sunday. And I don't know if anybody put an answer out there. They said it was a good question, but I don't think anybody put an answer. Or if they did, I missed it. So next Sunday, which team's going to pull this thing out? You got the Chiefs and you got the Eagles. So who you running with? Which team are you pulling for? And if there's anybody that's out there that want to go live or want to come on, you're more than welcome. The link is down in the chat, and you can definitely jump on. We were just wrapping up the night. Really, it's now after midnight, so you're starting your day. So starting your day with Big Jack, or you can say I'm closing out my night with Big Jack. But either way you want to look at it, it's always good to have you here, and always good to see you. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody that's out here and that's talking with me now. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing with your life, and just to say I'm gonna hang out with you for a little while, that's just awesome to me, and I appreciate it. So Miles McWalker Ministry Music. I don't know if I've ever seen you before, but I definitely thank you for being in here, because that's how we all grow and know each other and network with each other. I got that name captured, so I definitely will make sure I check your channel out if I haven't already. That's one of the things I'm still getting used to. I see you see so many channels, and you go through so many channels that sometimes you lose. Like, I've already been here, I've already done that, and then when you get there, like, oh yeah, I remember this one. So I'm working on a lot of that. So creating change, what's up, my brother? I hope you figured out the monetization thing, or what was y'all working on, copywriting with your music. So I hope you figured that out, because if you're putting good music out there, you don't want somebody to be taking your music, and definitely taking your music and blocking you from using your own music. That's crazy in itself. All right, one second. What's
What's
up,
up,
my
brother?
brother? How
How
you
you
doing,
doing?
sir? I'm doing well,
Awesome.
doing well.
Thank you for
That's good.
having
How
me.
you doing?
Awesome. I
You're
think
more
Guy
than
might
welcome.
be coming back on too. I think Guy might be coming on. We
Oh
just
yeah,
left. We
okay.
just yeah. I just left my live right now because I want to come on here and chill out. He was playing
Yeah,
some
yeah.
music,
No,
and I
I, I,
figured,
I was I was live hopping, so I saw y'all, and you was y'all was digging deep into the copyright. So I said, let me bounce out. So I went over there and seen Snapback, and Demo was live, so I
yeah,
hung out with them for a little while. I see your man Joe came in. Hey Joe.
Joe's coming in. Awesome, Joe. What's
Yeah,
up, brother?
welcome back, everybody.
Hey, welcome
Awesome.
back. How you doing?
No, we're
You're so
all
awesome,
back.
big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you wanna come on in, you're more than welcome. You know that, everybody that's out there.
All right.
I know it's
More than
late
merry.
for a
So
lot of people. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna do a live right now. I'm not gonna go stream it live.
Right, right.
Oh,
I'm just
come
gonna say
on.
no, because when Dapper came in, he expressed
Yeah,
that it might be considered mirroring, which means it's
100%.
reused content. It's
When
not
he
gonna
said
value
that,
me.
I was 100%. It changed a lot of ways I
Everything,
look
right?
at
No, totally. It changed me too.
it. Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
really? Like, it sounds like such a good idea that we
yeah,
all
yeah,
have
yeah.
this, but then it's like they're almost trying to entrap us.
But the thing is, it doesn't stop you getting the program. It's just like you say, having the times, and we all have to agree, or you don't have to agree, but just I come on yours and you come on mine, and we just like we've been doing. Except you now have the opportunity to get 5 or 6 people on at this like that. So
It
definitely,
just seems so whack. It
I
seems
was still
whack.
well, and and that, but when you look at it, it would have been like you said, you had 8 people on there, but the exact same video. You know, somebody's gonna catch that. So it was a good point. So Miles, you said that's cool. How y'all got the collaborate going on? Yeah. So that we're using StreamYard, so you can get, like I say, the links down there. You're more than welcome to come on in. I'm wide open to meeting new people and all. The link is there, so click that link and come on in. We're all friendly people in here. This is another way for especially people who are um, uh, still trying to get themselves used to being on live. You know, they're still trying to get over that fear of live, and this is a way to get over that. So now you have more people in here with you. It's just like you're by yourself on uh, on a solo and trying to figure it out. So you just come on in. Let's see. Boom. There he is, my
It's the
man.
guys in the house.
How
What's
you doing,
up?
guys?
What's
What's going
up,
on?
my fellas? What's up, everybody?
So and you can also see that it can grow fast. So where now all of a sudden now I got my hanging partners with me because we've already been here today and that was pretty cool. But it's always good to see. So we got Miles McWalker Ministry Music down in there. Um,
Hello.
cool. So it does cost money if you want the what they say. There's different levels of what you get. So there is a free version though. So the free version allows you to do exactly what we're doing right now. It's just you'll have you wouldn't have your own logo up in the corner and things like that. So
Right.
if you want your own logos and stuff like that, you have to pay a little bit of money, but there is a way to do it. So
Right.
uh, how you doing? What's up?
Hey, bud, how's it going? How's everybody tonight?
Hey, what's
Everybody
happening,
doing
man?
well. How
What's
you
happening?
doing, sir?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing well.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So you're out here, you're hanging with us, and so we just sitting here chilling and relaxing, finishing out the night, and and this is a
Yeah, what
way.
you guys been talking about for the past like 30 minutes? You guys been going for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah, we've been doing pretty good. Been doing hanging in there. So yeah. So how's things going for you?
Oh, everything's going good. So what's the topic we're on right now?
Really, it was no because we were just going. Matter of fact, the topic was we're using the StreamYard program. So this is a new program for us. We learned today because what you can do is I could be live and everyone that's in here could be live on their own channel. But because of everybody being live, we all would have the exact same video. And if you did that, even though you was live, you might even get your watch hours. YouTube could still come back and then block it because it'd be just a whole bunch of basically copies of one video. So
Right.
that it wasn't a good idea when we thought about it, but it's still not saying it'd be something that you would block getting the program. I would still get the program because when you go live, you can have up to 4 or 5, up to 10 people on your show. So that's a good thing to think about. And then the other part was your music. If you're a musician and copyright your music so that no one else can take it from you when you post it on your video. So those are the topics that we got going on right now here on
Yeah.
Real Talk.
Yeah.
Because how's the work going about copywriting your own music? Like, what do you do to do that?
Okay, so now I watched some. They take care of that today. I watched Mind Games and Creating Change take care of that. So I'm gonna let them take that over and explain how what you can do. So either one
Well,
of y'all can take that, please.
okay. Well, I'll do my best to say what I personally know. Is so far I haven't had no issues with things that are my songs with you know original stuff. But on my last live that I did an old hymnal. Now you're allowed to do anything that's been 100 years, 100 years copyrighted, in 100 years ago. And I knew that the hymnal had been, but I think where I went wrong as far as like I should have um, listed the songwriter part in the description of that old hymnal, and I didn't. And they give me a copyright thing on it. But then later on, it changed, and it said that there was no issue found. They were just letting they just recognized that that song had been done, but that there was no issue and that it was cool. But yeah, I think the lesson that I learned in it is one, just make. I mean, the obvious part, just make sure you put the credits for who the song writers were, and for me, I'm just kind of sticking to things that I know are 100 years copyright. The copyright was over 100 years ago because you're
I do
allowed
the
to
same
use.
thing. sorry, not to cut you off. I do like the same
Yeah.
thing. I do like cuts. So I'll go and find some from like the 1920s, and I'll use that as like the intro, and then I'll go and I'll sing over it, or I'll have like one of my friends go and rap
Right.
over it, or maybe do like a country song
Right.
over and do
Right.
like a nice little hybrid, a little bit of like doo wop with like some 20s music, and it blends, and it's my content that's can't be copyrighted or anything.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because you put your
Well,
spin to it. You put your
yeah.
spin on it.
Yeah.
So like with what Guy's saying, another thing that you can do is something called pocket patent. So it's something that is known in the system that if you write something or you make an invention, you write a song, you own some kind of writing, a poem, whatever it may be, you go and you put it in an envelope, and then you go put a stamp on it, and you go and mail it to yourself, and you don't open it. Now you do this for every little one, like meaning that every song you do that's original, you're going to do this to every song. You're going to do this, and you're going to mail each one to you separately. You're going to write on the outside the name of the song, whatever it is, so you identify what it is. If ever you have a situation where somebody's like using your music, you have proof that from this date, was anything before that happened? Did anything happen before that with this music? And if you can prove that you were the first person to write this type of stuff, because you have it in a closed envelope that's been mailed to you that you have not opened. You do not open it. The judge has to open it. That's what a pocket patent is the judge is going to look and see what is inside that envelope. If he sees in that envelope your words that you're talking about, and somebody else is trying to maneuver their way around it, and you're the earliest adopter of those words, and there's nothing that shows that the other person had anything similar to that earlier, the chances are you're going to win that copyright, that plagiarism. So you have that's not solid. You still have to you still need to make your own case, but that right there makes a better case knowing that you have your music written down on a page and it's inside an envelope that's been sealed and that's been mailed because you paid for it to be mailed. So that's the case, is that you paid for it. So
That's a
now this
nice
is like
loophole right there.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
some big brain thinking. See, now just give me 1 sec. I'm just pulling this
Please,
up. Like
please.
this is a minor example, which you guys can go and use too. But like if you just take like anything, like right here.
Revisit a classic, a remake of a classic. This song was made in 2038 by Clint Dirty. It sure is a good song. It's entitled I Like Niggers.
Okay. Yeah, but that's a little bit like
A little harsh, ain't it, brother?
yeah, that's a little harsh right there, bro.
I don't
Yeah.
appreciate that at all.
He's bounced.
No
Don't worry
offense.
about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
thank
bounced.
you.
He's bounced. He bounced.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, did he say that because of you? Like, did you know who he was
no,
before this?
it's something that he's already created, and that's why it's important for us to. That's why it's always like I told you, you got people on, and then you fill, you vet, and then you catch, and then
Yeah.
Like big brain thinking to like silly brain thinking. Like he went from big
Yeah.
brain thinking to like
yeah,
no brain thinking.
100%. So
Yeah, like 100 miles an hour, super quick into the wall.
Sorry
the thing
about
is,
that, guys.
when you set yourself up, and sometimes it is, you set yourself up, or you walk, you think you're leading yourself in. Remember, I told you that before.
I didn't think he was like.
Let me tell you something before. It takes a lot to break me. It takes a lot to shake me. So that's not a break or a shaker.
Right, no, I know.
Like I told you, just as easy as I can let you in, I can kick you out.
That's
right.
That's right.
Well, that's why I sort of said something right away, because I saw the environment sort of change as soon as that word came right up.
The thing is, it was just more. It took me longer than it needed to, and I apologize to y'all.
No, you're good. You're good. I thought you were gonna let it stay. I thought you were gonna let it stay because you knew him. I thought you knew the guy.
Because at the same time, again, this is clean. We're in here enjoying ourselves.
Right.
We're talking real.
You don't need that stuff. And he might be in shock right now, like, what happened? What happened? So if he doesn't recognize it, I don't think his intention was wrong, but maybe it was. You never know.
You don't know.
Well, I
We
mean,
don't.
let's just be honest. If you're willing to make content and use stuff like that in your content, then I'm willing to tell you I don't need to have you in my
Exactly.
life.
No,
Right,
you're
and
totally
there you
right.
go. So
Yeah.
You're totally right. Thank you so
so
much
with
for
all
that.
of
For
that,
that.
with all of that, but again,
You didn't even
uh,
ruffle any feathers. You just
yeah,
said, "Oh,
my,
goodbye."
you know, like I say, look,
I mean, how many times have you heard that word? Even like
100, 100
right?
million,
You talk to your like
too
maybe
many
you don't
times,
use it.
too many times, but at the same time, it's like, wow.
Can I ask you a question really quick, if you don't mind? Since we've already talked about it. You taught your kids. Do they say that word like in slang to themselves or to each other, or
Who
is
you
that
talking
something
to?
that's?
Who you talking to?
I'm talking to you, Bill.
Oh, no,
Okay.
no,
No,
we
because
don't.
I wonder sometimes because in the Jewish religion, like our bad word would be kike. That would be
Right.
what you would call it. Like, so we don't go around calling each other that. It just never resonated with me. Like, why? So I don't know for a fact. I don't know what the connection is, but there could be an understanding to it if I knew the history of it. I know there's
Right.
history behind it. So
Yeah.
I was just asking if you allowed your boys to be men, and
No.
that's
And
what
the
they
thing
wanted to
is,
share.
like I say, my kids are grown, so I can't tell you what they do 100% of the time.
Right.
That's not something but the other
That
side
you
to that
taught them.
is,
You didn't teach them that. They
yeah,
would have
the
learned it
other
through something.
side to
Okay.
that is that we don't. It's we also teach that if you look it up by definition, it doesn't mean the
No.
color of my skin is
Right.
so it's that's not the meaning. So you have to know what the meaning is, and
That's
it's no different than any other word that you use. No, like what Dapper was saying earlier today, when people get on and they just saying it's like if you can't find another way to communicate, then just don't hang with us. You can go hang. There's other groups that
Yeah.
does that all the
Listen,
time.
no,
Yeah.
that person probably has a whole group of people, but that person did not need to be here for Joe to hear, for me to hear, for God to hear, and definitely for you to hear the host. So
And
let
what
me
I
ask you a
want to
question
do
really.
Most
is
importantly, our audience out there.
that's why I was
Of
saying,
course.
and that's why I wanted.
No,
I
it's
wanted
more
to
of our
go.
audience because you're responsible for it, Big Jack.
Yeah, and I wanted to go there right there. I wanted to apologize to everybody that did. If anyone was offended by that, and that you're still here, I appreciate you still being here. And
Without a doubt.
we try to be open, and that's me. I try to be open to everybody.
right.
You have to prove me that you're not worthy to be in here. So I don't judge
That's
you.
right.
I don't prejudge you. But once
Right.
you put something out there that now you've shown me that you're not, and you won't even have to worry about coming back because this is
Yeah.
not going to be an invite. So
Right.
I
No matter how
respect
big brain that
everyone out
was
there.
not a big brain what you did.
I respect each and every person out there. You're in the chat, you're on the group, and I will give you your space. But once you lose your space, it's on you. So so Miles say I accidentally played a song for like 40 minutes the other day. I had a bunch of new songs to pick from, and some how I got stuck with the one track on repeat, had to go back and edit it out. Yeah, so it can happen. So if you get a song that because look, I did a bowling video. I like to bowl. I'm in the bowling alley bowling. I'm doing a live stream video, and the bowling alley was playing music, and that music was on my video, and they gave me a copyright. It was a strike. It was just a warning. It wasn't even like that I did anything wrong, but it's just the music that's playing around you. So you got to really, when you're doing content or making videos or whatever, and I think Dapper made that comment today too. You can't show part of the football game. You can't show other people's live streams because all of those things will come back and can be marked against you because it's copy material, and because of that, you have to make sure that everything is yours and it's original. So here I am in the bowling alley bowling on live, and because that music was being captured, playing over the loudspeaker in the bowling alley, they sent me the note saying, "Hey, watch this from moving forward." So every time they send you a note doesn't mean that you did something wrong. It's just they try to give you a warning of,
Right.
and a lot of that is just our growth. That's how we grow. That's how we get to learn. Because the one thing that would hate, especially if you get to the point of being monetized, and then all of a sudden you get monetized and you lose it off of something like that, a song or a video.
Okay, so Big Jack, I'm sorry, but you still left this guy inside there. He's bringing back comments inside there. Gonna lose your chance to speak to me. Why do we want to speak to him? Put me back in. I'm gonna
He's in there.
copyright strike you right now. Are you gonna copyright strike us? He's threatening you, bro. He's threatening you.
Yeah, I got you. He's in the private though. He's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
no,
you
no,
can
I know
see
that
it,
because
but
he's still connected to the live somehow.
yeah,
So he's able
yeah.
to say
I'll
whatever he
work on
wants.
that.
Thank
Just
you.
Yeah,
Take
let
your
me
time.
work on
Don't.
that.
We don't need to get it. We don't need to. I don't. I just saw it because it came up as a chat.
Yeah,
I thought it was a comment. I didn't know it was him. I'm gonna change it. I'm going to the chat. So you have Anisha saying have to be aware. Yes, exactly. Like Anisha, I don't think she got upset, but she definitely like did not like what she heard. You know what I mean? This cat's
yeah.
not coming back in again. He's not coming back in again.
No,
Nobody's gonna have to deal
no.
with him. Thank you, Ellen, for stopping by and showing love. Yeah, so if you look at the chat, you see that. Yeah, okay. So Anisha all the way back. Hey, Mr. Guy. Okay, so Mr. Guy was cool, and then all of a sudden it went wow, and then it was like, oh my God, and then like, okay, so then she says hi to Ellen. Hi, Ellen. Too many. I don't. Okay, then something. So I might read it. So have to be aware. Yeah, so she was talking about having to be aware because I guess she heard the word and she's like, what? Like, it's almost like it was a shock, like, because I like, do you really know what you're doing right now? That's why I sort of like didn't just like right away bounce on that because I knew that
right.
right away when I heard the word, I was like, wait a second, that's just not registering right. But he's talking about the 20s and all this stuff. I'm like, why is he? What is he trying to prove to us?
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean,
And
I could give you a simple word for what he proved to me he is, but I'm not going to
ignorant,
use that kind of language on a public
ignorance,
platform.
just
But
ignorance.
yeah, ignorance is good enough. I guess that would
Yeah,
be a little less strong than what I would go
it
with.
definitely was.
But
It definitely wouldn't be outstanding.
no, it would not be outstanding. No,
No, would not.
no, it would
Unless it
not.
would be
Definitely
outstandingly
would not
ignorant.
be.
Outstandingly
Yeah,
ignorant. Maybe
yeah,
that could be the case.
that would be okay. Yeah, that,
Sorry you can't see me right now, but I'm charging my phone. I'm gonna uncharge it now. I mean, I'm gonna take the plug out so you can see me now.
yeah. But with those songs and stuff like that, man, I spent a lot of time this afternoon after I seen that I had a copyright strike, and then it dawned on me because I listened back to it, and then right at the end I did that song, just a closer walk with thee, and that was the only part of the whole video that they had marked, but it wasn't in a bad way. They were just letting me know that they seen that song, and it wasn't a huge deal. But man, at first I was like, well, if I can't do my own music without getting copyright strikes, then what can I do? You know what I mean? It kind of had me at a loss for what I could or couldn't do. But now I do know what I can and can't do. I see what they were
Right.
talking about.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like I said, it could be just as simple as watching a TV show. And Ellen, how you doing? Ellen Smile, how you doing? I see you in
Hi,
there.
Ellen
It
Smile.
could be it could be as easy as, like I say, watching a television show or something like that, where it's just the music playing in the background. You had no intentions. You wasn't trying to do anything wrong. Especially when you're talking hymnals and things like that. It's almost like saying we can't quote scripture. So if you sit there, you use a Bible verse while you're talking. It's like, well, that's copyrighted. I mean, it's the Bible, but it's a verse, and we do it all the time. So
right. So what can
weird.
we use? Yeah.
So it can get weird sometimes. So, but I guess when you put your own spin on it, as people saying, you're using it as you're talking out or describing or whatever you're using, you use it to make your point. I'm not sure. So I think the warnings come, and when those warnings come, you take heed to it and see, hey, how can I turn it and twist it without making those type of mistakes? So I see Miles McWalker says so Miles say from a teach background.
My internet source for a bit to start fresh, to lose the tail, maybe. I don't know the depth of his or her knowledge though. Okay, so Miles is saying that because there's some people. Okay, so there's some people that come on to YouTube and they actually have. So this guy is not smart enough, because if he was smart enough, he would be back inside here, like literally. Now I don't know if he'd be back inside here because of the fact that he could get into StreamYard. But if we did this inside, YouTube, he would be able to get through the timeout if he was brilliant enough. He was one of these people that can do. So there's people that know how to do that. They have software that can rehack us and make it that we can't block them.
Yeah, like you say, and even with that, I mean, I'm looking at the note that he put trying to get back, because he tried to get back in on the show, and I'm not I'm not against him. I don't have no ill will against him.
No.
Whatever he played, it's.
But he's
like,
saying last chance to you, bro. He's saying like he's going to report you for what? What is he going to copyright strike you on?
Yeah. Well, I'm not worried about that.
I took a picture of it. Just let that be the last comment. If he says something else, I'll interject with him. I know that you can handle it, but I don't even want that to happen anymore. So just like you would do on my channel.
I replied, and I'm good with that.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, my thing is, and with anything, it's not necessary. It's and no one's talking like that or acting like that in any kind of way.
No.
And one, it's you can report me all you want, but this is I went live. You came on to this show, so
Right.
if I don't want you in here, it's like you saying you have to come in my house. You don't have to come in my house. I respect everybody out there, and I'll give you
your house is your castle.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. So I'm not gonna be uncomfortable in my own house.
In your own house.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not gonna be uncomfortable in my own house. So
it's like all those.
And we was having real conversation. You asked what we was talking about. I told you we were talking about, and then and like you said, even if it was a mistake, because he did say sorry when he tried to get back in.
But then the 2 times after that, when he didn't respond, and he's like, "I'm gonna threaten you," like this is like.
But look, what you gonna threaten? I don't have anything. What you gonna take from me? Take my YouTube channel.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
bleed a rock, bleed a rock.
Hey,
baby.
if you find any money, find any money out of my account, we'll split it up. You know, what I mean?
Have fun.
They say we're gonna take my YouTube channel.
Search my pockets; they're empty. Joe, everything was cool with you. You like it didn't affect you too much. Like you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
My YouTube fine, and I had a cup of wine, and everything just fine.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I know that sometimes words because what Joe is always and what also Bill talks about too, and I believe that also creating change Guy talks about is it's not the words that you're thinking in your head, it's the words that come out.
Yeah.
Well, it's the words that come out of your mouth. You know what I mean? That those are the words you can never get back. So whatever this guy did, he can never come back and say anything that's. Where are you right there?
Miles is asking. He don't see what you see about his continuing. So when you're on StreamYard, if you was a guest and you actually came on as a guest, you have access to a private chat that only the guest that's up here on the screen could see. So because of that, he was able to get into the private chat and send things to us. And that's why we were seeing it. So it's not something that you would see. You only seeing it. We only see it. You can see it, and that's where we were commenting on it. So had we not commented on that, you wouldn't even know that was going on.
Right.
So
I only took pictures of it because I was saying to. So let me ask you, Joe. So he's not able. So you basically blocked him from it, so he can't even comment in the comments to everybody.
Correct. Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So he's not able to even comment to you to give these threats. He's only able to comment because he was brought in alive, and he's still not deactivated from the live yet. Right.
Oh, he's out. He's out of there now. If he's
no. But you're still. Oh, he's out of there. Okay. So So he can't comment anymore. Okay.
Yeah. You see, I put the last one in the chat there.
Oh, perfect.
So that was my last one.
Earlier in the day, Miss Ellen. It was. Oh yeah. So Ellen was like, I haven't seen 4 before. So Ellen is like, I haven't seen 4. Well, there was double today. We had 8, Ellen.
Yeah.
You ask Big Jack about that one. It got a little. The voices sort of like we were talking over each other for a second.
So, Ms. Allen, we're using programs called StreamYard. So StreamYard is just a streaming program that allows us to have up to 10 people in here. So what you're looking at is YouTube Live, or go live together on YouTube, where you can only have one more person, so you and one other. But with StreamYard, we can have up to 10. So up to 10 people. We had 8. We were in here 8, and 6 of them was live on their own channel. So it got real crazy in here. So it was pretty.
It did get real crazy.
But if
we had like 30-something people.
Ellen, if you wanted to come in here, you're more than welcome to come on in. The link is down in there. Again,
you can be number 5.
Yeah, you can be 5. So it's set up, and I know it's. Go ahead.
She could break history for herself. She just saw 4 for the first time. Now she could break 5 by being the 5th person.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we're doing is we do the Iron Sharpening Iron show, and that's every Wednesdays and Sundays. Every Wednesday and Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then after the Iron Sharpening Iron show, we do what I call is the after show, the Real Talk Live, where we get a panel of people just like we got right here, and we discuss what we heard and in the live show, the first show, and just have a deeper conversation about it. So tomorrow or today, really, because we're after midnight,
Yeah, it's the second.
we'll have the Iron Sharpening Iron show at 7 p.m. And then when it goes off at 8 p.m., we go right into the after show and we bring in guests just like we got right here, and we have a deeper conversation about what we had. Because a lot of times when you're watching a live, even if you
No,
but
I'm listening. I was saying to myself, wait a second. Okay.
yeah, but a lot of times when you do a live or whatever, you go in there and you watch, you don't really get a lot of, even though you can comment, but you really don't get your question asked and answered the way you really want to, because someone's comment, they have to read it, and sometimes it'd be late, and by the time they answer it, we didn't moved on, or we probably already answered it 10 times, and so this is an opportunity for you to be talking directly to the person. So when we had the 8 people on this morning, and that's 7 p.m. Eastern time. So, and it's scrolling at the bottom if you see it. So 7 p.m. Eastern time, you can see the ticker going across the bottom for the Iron Sharpening Iron show. And but we had Dapper PH was on, and he was one of the 7 or 8 people that was on at the time. And then it was really, really, really good to have him on there. We can ask him questions. He gave us time to actually ask him questions, and he gave us some real good knowledge. So that was you couldn't pay for that experience we got with that, and to have it right there live, and we all could listen. And if you pull that recording from earlier today, you will really, I think, enjoy the information that he put out there. And they say, "Yo, boy, in there, what's up? How you doing?" And he said, "Sorry for being late. My radio in my car stopped working. I went
better late than never, right?"
It's funny because the radio in my car stopped working. So I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, it's like, what the heck? My car radio just stopped.
Your radio stopped too, Big Jack?
Yeah. So I mean,
that's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence.
Digital technology is cool, but when it goes, it's gone, and it's like, what happened to turning the knobs and changing the channel, and that is like it's gone. So it's like you get a new radio and this and that. I'm like, I'm not getting a new. My car is older model, and like I'm not getting another car or nothing like that. So let me see, Miles, we say not a, let me see, that is right, maybe LOL. Yeah, so it's just sometimes happens. So but yeah, my radio, I was listening. Let me see, what happened was I'm driving, my car, all of a sudden the radio needed to do an update. So it did an update, and when it updated, it never came back. So,
that was the update. You don't get to use your car again.
You don't need it no more. Yeah.
You don't need this. We're gonna send it to you subliminally right now.
No, your boy said mine is a 2012 Chrysler 200. It's 12 years old. I'm saying it's a 12-year-old car. Had the stock radio still in it, and it went out. So I got a 2014, and very same thing. So but there it is. So I'm definitely not going to try to buy a new car so I can get a radio. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
My car's a beater, but I'll tell you something. The radio doesn't work either. Like, it went out the second week I had the car.
So
but it's a used car.
Ellis, I love that you have the name of the YouTube channel in the blue. It's very professional. I do see it when you are live times. Yeah. So you can change the colors. We went through that. We can change all the colors. I can go through it quick if y'all okay. Those who are in here, if we just go through it.
Yeah.
So Ellen,
can I go take care of something? You can put me on. I'm gonna go take care of something really quick. I'll be right back. Okay.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Buddy.
Yes, sir. Let me know what you. Cool. All right. So Ellen, I'm gonna walk through real quick. So for those, it's just us. There you go, Joe. It's just us. So I'm gonna walk through some of the features this has so that you can see if you. So there you see the ticker going across the bottom saying stay tuned, or please tune in to the Iron Sharpening Iron show. I can change the ticker. I can put whatever ticker I want to put in there. You can also put in some banners. So like the code to get in, this is a banner we put in, boom. So if I wanted to drop that in, So imagine that you was doing a song or whatever. You can actually put the title of the song and have it come across. Or if you was doing a Bible verse or whatever, you can put it across like that. So that's in there. Um, you can change the tickers. I see the comments coming in real quick. Let's see. All right. So, and with that, so, and another thing that I like that I can change, if you look up in the right-hand corner of the screen right now, you can see my logo. It says Real Talk Live with Big Jack, but I can change those. I can change those logos. So you can go up in there and I can change the logo. So if I'm doing the Iron Sharpening Iron show, I change to that logo. If it's just a Big Jack story time, I can change to that logo. And then when it's Real Talk, I change. So I got 3 logos saved in there, but you can have more logos up. But those are the 3 that I got saved in there. So that's one of the things. If we were like we needed to take a break, so we're going to take a break or whatever, and we're going to be right back. With that, you can put in your own little boom, say we'll be right back. So we'll be right back and let it play. And at
We'll
the
be
same
right
time,
back, everybody, chat.
yep. And then with that, we can actually drop a little music in there so y'all can listen to it while you waiting. So here we got the music going while you're waiting, and we'll be right back. So there you go. So that's another one of the little features that you have there. That's one of the.
I thought it was a commercial break.
Oh yeah. If you wanted to change that, so say you don't like those colors, that's not your favorite color, whatever. Say you wanted to go in a more of an orange, or if you want to go red, if you want to go in between, you can change it to different colors or whatever. So blue I like, and that's why I went with the blue. But if you like the classics lines instead of the bubbles, or if you want to go minimum right here, if you want to go block, that's another thing that you can do as well. We got the 3 people up there, but if we want to make up circles instead of having squares or rectangles, we got that. So those are some of the features that we could do. And boom, so just like that, or there. So that's also part of what you can do with it. So you say, wow, hey, guys, some of guys, and I like that too. So, and this is another cool feature that I really, really like. And so I like them all, don't get me wrong. But we can have all 3 of us. We're up in here, we're in the live, and we can, and I'm going to show you. So, boom. So this is one of the things that got me right here. So you're doing your live show, and you want to talk about something, and you drop it in, and here it comes, loading, and boom. We can actually show a video, and that video is playing. So these are past guests and future guests that's on the Iron Sharpening Iron show coming up. And you can actually show the video as we talking about it. So Guy, you got anything to say about these videos?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, dude. I love the way that you're able to bring up all these things on here, man. That's just I love it. I'm gonna get me some.
No, and I appreciate it. And the reason I did that, so you can see that each one of us still can still talk and talk about. So, and it doesn't have to be like here. It looks like it's more like a PowerPoint type thing, but it's not. That's a video I created to show the people that's coming on, who have already been on, and the future people that's coming on. So yeah,
it looks pro too, man. I mean, it really does look sharp. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's pro looking.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. So you put some time in and get it the way you want it. But once you get it up and running, so you can just take it down and you go right back to what you were doing. So we didn't break one stride. And now if you can see, Ellen, I'm running everything from my computer, and I'm sitting here doing it. But you don't see me doing anything. You don't miss a beat, and it's work right on through. And Miles, thank you. Said, yeah, that looks sharp. So yeah, very sharp. So those are some of the features that you can do. And then say Miles is going to, I'm not Miles, I'm sorry, say Miles was in here with us, but say creating change is going to go, he's going to perform. So if he's going to perform, I can highlight him 100%, and he's now solo. So he's solo, even though we can still hear, he can still hear me talking, but right now the spotlight's on him while he's performing and things like that. So Yeah. So that's the deal on that part right there. So that's another thing that I like. So you just exit that. If I needed to mute a mic or whatever, I can mute a mic. If I need to take somebody out, like Mind Game said he's going to step away, so we remove him completely, so you only see what he's doing in his background, but he is still on. He's still He's still here. I just need to put him back in, so there's no problem.
Right. I mean, that's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, and they do have a free version. So I wouldn't. In the description of this, you should see the link to go in there. And I think I sent it to you. I know I sent it to you, guys, so that you can have it. But use that link, get the free version. But I paid for it, so that's why I can change my logos and stuff. So I did do that and pay. But it's so many different features that's in here. That if I didn't hit them all, I'm not gonna say I apologize, but if you didn't hit them all, but like if you have a intro or exit, you can have that built in as well. So let me see if I can drop that one real quick. So let's see how it looks when you do that one.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
That right there is just
That's amazing with a fly like a
magic. That's cool. Yeah. So yeah, the program is called StreamYard. It's called StreamYard, yes. And like I said, if you look in the description of this live, you will see the link to that. And or I can, Ellen, I can send you the link. I'll go to your channel and send you the link, so that way, because you do get a discount if you go to a paid version of this. If you use the link I'll send you, so you'll get a discount version. But I am not selling. I am not a salesperson for them. They don't pay me for doing any of this. I just I liked it. I for what I want to do with YouTube, I thought this was perfect for me, and I said this is why I'm going this direction, and that's why I paid the whatever. But I don't have any problem sharing my information with anybody. So. Yeah. So, you like that? Yeah, I love it. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the program itself, and so, but I use it for the Iron Sharpening Iron show. Now we use StreamYard, and then the after show we use StreamYard, and then when we get 5 and 6 other people in here, 8, 10, we we use StreamYard so that everybody can get on here and we can actually, have a good time together.
It's really cool, man.
So to mention, that's how much does this cost? So it costs me $50 a month to have this program for the version I got. So, but there is a free version. So if you want to just try it out and see, and if it's not worth it, but my whole goal when I first came on here was to be able to go live. I wanted to be able to go live and do interviews and this and that. And this is exactly what I need to be able to do that. So I'm right where I want to be. So it was a great investment for me, to the point, if I turn this into, this is my business. So say you want to be a content creator, you're getting paid for it, you can write that off. You can write that program off because of the fact that it's something that you need for your job, or basically doing your job. So it could be a tax write-off if you got to that point. But for right now, that's how much it costs. But there is a free version. So don't get caught up on how much it costs and all. But then I know as soon everybody gonna get StreamYard, and then it's like, so. But that's a good thing. So another feature that you can do, and what we learned today might not be that beneficial, is you can be live on multiple things. So if you're live on YouTube, I can be live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all at the same time through one video. We don't have to go to all the different channels. You just put it in, you select which ones you want to go live on. But you have to be eligible to be live on whatever that social media platform is. So you need at least 50 subscribers for YouTube. You got to have so many subscribers for TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. But once you meet those requirements, you can go live on there. If you're a guest, you can be live in your own channel as well. So if Creating Change wanted to, he can go in, hit a couple of buttons and be live in his own channel. Yeah. And while I'm live in my channel, he's live in his channel, and Joe's up there, he can be live in his channel, and we all can be live at the exact same time in our own channels. What we heard today, which was really good advice, was because this is one video, and even though we all live, we all will have the exact same video. So YouTube can frown upon that, saying that we were just copying each other's video and putting it out there. So it's not as beneficial to do it that way if we were trying, once we're monetized. So if you're monetized, you really don't want to mess around and have them telling you to remove. So say you got 30 watch hours for a video, and then all of a sudden you only needed 30 watch hours to be monetized, and then they took those 30 hours from you. So that was one of the good things to say, okay, you're right, I don't need that. So let me see, I don't go live, but someday
Appreciate you, big dog.
A way to go if I go live a lot.
Mike Walker, thank you, brother.
And with other social media technology is unbelievable. Yes, 100%. So here's a cool thing, Ellen. If you don't go live, say, yeah, I don't go live on my own channel, it doesn't stop you from coming in here and being a guest and being live, where you can actually talk to people and share your content and share your information, and you're just live with us. So that's just another opportunity to be live, or without being live on your own channel, you can be live in here and just having conversation. So it just gives.
Let me ask from your side where you're at, Big Jack. When I go over to say hi to everybody in the chat, can you still see me when I'm responding to people in the chat or saying howdy to everybody?
Yep, I can see when you put it down there.
Like,
so you said howdy to everyone, and I saw it when it came across. Yeah, 100%.
Can you still see me on camera when I click over to do that though?
Yes, you never left the camera. Yeah, you never left. You never left studio. You're just sitting there. When I see the chat come up, I can see that it was you, and I'm like, wait a minute, why is he saying? But that's your response, so that's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I just was in there. I just was playing with the features. Like, that's pretty cool to be able to kind of be on live, but still be able to type, hey, everybody, in the chat. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah,
you 100% can go in there, and then you can see. Now, one of the things I cannot do, and I'm just still explaining, but I cannot do is from here, I cannot give a person their blue jacket. So I can't from StreamYard, I can't give you a blue jacket or whatever. But what I do is, and not now, but if I was doing my live show, the Iron Sharpening Iron show, I would have my computer next to me, so that way I could actually control what happens in YouTube and in that live, and give the blue jackets and all while I'm actually doing the show. So and then you can turn, like, I think Guy's probably using a portrait version, or he's on his phone using portrait, and I'm using the landscape, so that's why my picture is wider and his picture is narrow. So excuse me. So that's just another thing that when you're on here, it's like, okay, you can actually select which one you want to be. You want to be neutral or vertical, or if you want to be horizontal.
So you said your phone's set in horizontal?
No, I'm on a computer. So because I'm on a computer, it's wider screen and all that. Okay. So, but you can use the phone, and you can use a phone, or you can use your computer. So you're not restricted to just being. So you go live together on YouTube, you're restricted to just your phone. You can't use your computer or go live together on YouTube. But here you can actually use the computer. You can use your cell phone or whatever to go. Now, here's another thing. If you're on here live and you're on here live and you're talking, but if you're trying to listen to yourself on YouTube at the same time, it's like a 10-second delay.
Yeah.
So there's a 10-second delay between what you said here and what you're going to hear if you're trying to listen to yourself. So So if you just come on and just talk, no one would know that there's a delay. But if you're trying to listen to yourself, you're going to hear the delay. You're going to hear it. It's about 10 seconds before whatever you just said or whatever motion you did or whatever before you actually see it, or so that's one of the catches to it. So one of the things we were trying to do or want to do, and I really want to do, is get like 4 or 5 musicians on here and have them play. But like Guy was making a comment, they need to hear their music. They need to hear themselves playing. So it's going to be weird at trying to get them to play, because really we just need them to just play without listening to it. And that's
I was thinking about that after we had spoke on it, And I think, man, if like I truly think that if I was to take the device that I'm or the device that I'm working on, the phone, if I just Bluetoothed it to a bigger speaker where I could hear it louder, then I don't think I would have that delay. I think it would be coming through just like the sound comes through now.
No, it'd be worth to try. I think it would be
I
cool
mean,
to see it happen, and let's make it work. Yeah.
because
So,
my
Ellen,
biggest
I'm not sure, Ellen, if you're still out there, but if you are, I hope that explained some of StreamYard and says that are they all on a 10-second? So the thing is, it's not even just the streaming companies and things like that. Because even if you watch an NFL football game, there's a delay. There's a delay between what you see on TV and what's actually going on the game. So there is a delay because that was after what happened in the Super Bowl with Janet Jackson and this and that. They put a delay in there. So I'm not sure if that's the same thing with the streaming, but you also got to look at we're streaming from this company going through social media companies live, and there's going to be some type of delay between it. So that 10-second delay, I don't think it's for protection. I just think the fact that you're streaming and you're going through. So, but it's something that you can get around, and the way to get around it is just go live. Don't think about trying to listen to yourself talk. Just talk and do that. So even when I have my computer up, I have the computer up, but I turn the volume all the way off on the computer so they don't get the back feed, and then I just go straight to talking, into whatever, the cell phone or whatever other device that I'm using, so that I won't hear the delay. Because if you try to have, you say if I had my cell phone up right now watching a live, and I had the volume up, I will, at that time too, I could end up being you'll hear the echo of what you just said coming through. So, but that's there it is. You can hear somebody got their volume up, so you can hear the echo.
Yeah. I got it.
Yeah.
I love to help.
Yeah. No, and that helps because now you can hear it. But that's what you're catching. So, but I see Mind Games is back.
Yo, Mind
as
Games.
the host, I can see him behind the stage or behind stage. You wouldn't be able to see him, but I can see him. So as the host, you can see him, and then you just bring him back.
But you can hear me too, right? You heard me.
No, I could not hear you. I just saw that you were back.
Hey, how you doing, Joe? What's going on,
The
brother?
only thing that you could have done.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
The only thing that you could have done, Mind Games, with that was you could have put a message in the private chat saying that you were back.
Okay. Okay. No, because I came back 5 minutes. I came back like 2 minutes ago, and then I was like, let me go take care of the one last thing.
No, I saw you,
but
okay. Because I didn't see your full face, I wasn't sure if you was 100%, so I just let you stay out there.
Thank you. You're actually a really good MC at this.
Absolutely is.
Yeah, you're definitely really. No, you're good. You like a lot of people say I'm a connector, dude. You're a connector. You've been working on this. I saw you here when nobody was clicking on you, like in the first day or two. You were out here sitting alone, saying, "Anybody wants to come on?" And then you just kept like you kept knocking at the door. You didn't care that you weren't getting, people saying yes. But then we're here now. Look at it, like you grew.
Oh yeah, I appreciate
within it. Within a matter of a week, bro.
No, I'm sorry.
Listen, I just want to say, I don't want to call you bro because I need to call you more respectful. You are a father of 4. I want to call you Bill. I'm gonna just call you Bill. I'm gonna stop calling you different things. I'm gonna call you Bill. Thank
you. For those in here and y'all here, my this is Big Jack, but it is Bill Jack. So
okay, Bill. Well, my name.
People are calling me Todd. I mean, if you call me Mind Games, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you Big. Because this is another thing too. Is are we taking away or are we actually adding to the personalism? I think that we're adding to it by saying our real names. Like you have a brand. It's Big Jack Storytime. That's a brand. Yeah. But you are also Big Jack. You're Bill. Yeah. You are the person, the creator of this. So like I was talking with Joe. So Joe Remington has been looking at that, what Dapper said. Do we want to be a brand or do we want to be an individual? So there's 2 different types of accounts you can make, but you got to make them from the beginning. You can't, but he said that you can go and get this account ported in to your branding account, meaning so you can get all of your work done that you've done on your personal account now ported over to your branding account. Now it's considered branding because Mind Games is a brand. You
Right,
know,
right.
creating change is a brand. That's not it is Guy, but it is creating change.
No, I
It's like
got you. Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I
like
see that.
you look at Joe. Joe is a first name, but if you see at the end of it, the brand is what it says.
Oh yeah,
He's, you
100%.
know,
So I see Peter said hello to you, Todd, down there in the
oh,
chat.
what's up, Peter? I'm sorry if I didn't know,
Hey,
if I didn't see it.
No, no.
How you
howdy,
doing, Peter?
Peter.
How you
How you
doing,
doing,
brother?
P.O.?
You Mira did so wonderful. I just really hope that I hope that her voice is okay.
Yeah,
Because, you know, I know when people are sick that no matter what it is, you know, they go through that middle stage where they might start feeling a little bit better. But
yeah.
man, she sounded great. I don't know if you saw her, right, Big Jackie? Were you over there or no?
No,
Maybe you might
oh
not have gone
yeah.
over there.
No,
Oh,
no.
that's right. You were at the basketball game. You were at the basketball
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. But
Who
now I'll
won?
have to check it
Blue
out
or
for
white?
sure. Yeah. Oh, they lost. I also said the Sun lost. Yeah, yeah. They lost the game.
Okay.
He said
By a
she's
lot?
not feeling great again. You're right. So sorry to hear that she's not feeling well, Peter.
Yeah,
Sorry
man.
to hear that, Peter.
Yeah, man. I mean, she looked
Mm-hmm.
so like she was having such a good time. But I just know that when you use that extra, because I saw my mom go through it. That was the thing. I go through it too. Like when I am sick, I just need to rest, and I need
Yeah.
to let that first little eye of the storm go by because there's another backing of this. So you know what I mean? Like I gotta wait for my energy to sort of.
Well,
So
and even with the live, so I know, and then not to cut in and to cut you off on
no,
that, but
please,
even with the
please.
live, you put a lot of work into it. You're doing a lot of talking, and if you're singing and stuff like that, you put a lot of effort
My
into.
tonsils have gotten bigger. My
Oh yeah,
side, like,
yeah.
but yeah, I feel them
Yeah, so
just from
you have
talking.
to, so you sit there and like, okay, and especially when you have scheduled time. So like I got the Iron Sharpening Iron show scheduled all the way through
For
March. So
tomorrow.
it's like, so you can't get sick. You can get sick, but it's like I got to take care of my throat. I got to take, so it's like I got to
Right.
get ready because the show's coming up, and you don't want to shortchange the
Yeah.
show, and you don't want. So
And
those
the
are some of the
people,
things.
right? You don't want the
Yeah,
people
so
to be
right,
like,
right, because
yeah,
people are starting to, they're starting to come on. They know every Wednesday and Sunday, and they start looking
right. And
for it. So, and
and
you
you
want
know
to,
that they're gonna start clicking on the ones, so they're already getting notified when that one comes out, but they're already gonna leave you messages
right, right, and
and leave
that's
you
what
likes.
and that's what you're hoping. You're hoping to get to the point where people will start, hitting that notification button and knowing when it's coming and leaving comments before the show even get there. And also, I do like you leave them, and I appreciate that, Todd. You come in and you'll leave a couple of notes. You're like, I'm already here, or I'm already ready,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that because when you're on a show and because the show starts at 7 o'clock, so it starts at seven
And I
o'clock.
might not make it at 7 o'clock sometimes. I haven't
But
made it
but
sometimes.
but the show starts at 7, so I
Right.
can't wait till I see somebody came in to
Right, of
start the
course.
show. We
You
start
gotta
at
keep
7
talking.
and we go. So because I'm having a conversation with the guests, if no one else is here, me and you are having this conversation, and we just keep it flowing. And then when people start coming in, we you can recognize them, but it doesn't stop the show. So if you was watching the replay of the show, you're going to get the whole show from 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock. You're getting a show. You're not getting us standing there looking at each other, waiting for
Well, I
someone.
got a question
Yeah.
for you on that.
Yes, sir.
So I know that Super Bowl Sunday, you have a back-to-back. So I'm not gonna get your after show. But am I allowed to come on to the after show with Nemo?
100%. So
Okay.
the reason for both of y'all was because at any time, especially with StreamYard, and I was going to wait till Super Bowl to actually use StreamYard, but
Oh,
it was
really?
just, but then it's like I got
You
really
got
caught
you're a
up in it.
kid. You're a kid
Yeah,
in
I
it,
got really
right?
caught up in it. So, but but the intention is because both of y'all know, and y'all know that y'all gonna be on there, is to have y'all come on and we just make it one big show. So we start with you, and then we bring Nemo on, and then both of y'all are just So that was the
Oh,
intention. So yeah,
so wait a second. I'm gonna be on, and Nemo's gonna come on after me or
Nemo's
with
gonna
me?
come in with you. Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Oh, does he know that?
Yeah, well, yeah. He knows it.
Okay.
He knows it. He knows it.
Okay.
He knows it.
Because I mean, I want to give. That's why. It's also I want to give him his.
No, and the thing is,
Okay.
both of y'all have a definitely
Dominant personalities.
inspirational style,
Right. We
and you're
do.
definitely leading and helping people build their channels and all that. And having both of y'all on Super Bowl
Right.
Sunday is just you couldn't ask for a better combo. And then, like I
You
say,
know what? I really appreciate this. I wanted to go on the Dappers today. I emailed him a couple times, and I don't want to say that he didn't respond back to me, I do know that he was really busy, so I couldn't get in the middle of it. And he acknowledged it. He's like, I acknowledge it. Like he said it in his comments. I acknowledge it, bro. But like he couldn't do anything because he had already had so many people on there. But I really wanted to go on there and really acknowledge the appreciation and the love that they've been showing me, and that they've also been showing the family. You know, because
Right.
I wouldn't have met anybody through Roxy. And I don't want to say that nobody would have met anybody without me meeting Roxy or Roxy meeting me, but you know, the chance of that happening, I didn't see it before me. So I don't look at chances. I just look at what happened. And I just want to show appreciation that everybody's being able to understand that all I want is good for people. I just want this unity to
Right.
happen. I want it faster than slower. And I think that that's what sort of turned people away. Because how can you have something so fast? Well, if you don't have it fast enough, 4 years is going to go past us. And then there's another chance for us to slip into another, you know, hole. So we got to unite in these 4 years because we don't know if we're given the
And
next 4 years.
yeah, and the thing is, you're right. So if we can get there faster, it's 100% better. And I'm not going to argue with that. But you know, me and you talked before about
No,
it.
no, right. We
But
have. And I'm glad that
it's
you've
so much.
seen that.
It's so much that we have to learn. It's like having Dapper on and explaining to us about the, you know. So that's where I'm like, we can get this thing. You can get it tomorrow, but if you
So-
don't know how to keep it and hold it, you're going to lose it. So
this is what was
that's where the
happening.
combo comes.
I've known them since the 24th of November.
Right,
So
right,
I've been bringing all this stuff that's going quick, way like a little bit before, but right around that time, I started really pushing it because I recognized on what they were doing.
right, right, right.
Right when I recognized what they were doing, that's when I turned everybody moderator.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a second, they're helping each other. They're not going against each other. And the ones that go against it, you see that they're. I know all these other that are doing it, and they're doing it alone.
Mm.
And the reason why they're doing it alone is because they're not Wallen, they're not doing 100%, and that they're also they don't want to change. They don't want to adapt to what what people will teach them. You know, Dapper is there to share with everybody. Now, I'm not there in his culture, so I don't know if there's any intimidation or anything, but I don't see it. He came on our thing and he was totally fine.
Yeah.
When I actually approached him with that conversation, because I wanted to make a point, like you can talk about us, that's cool, but we need to be able to ask questions to you about you and about your culture. Because we might be misunderstood when we hear a song that might be saying something that we don't understand, and it is a word that would be derogatory, like something that you would look at and be like, "Well, why would they use that word in a song?" You know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure that I could ask that question. I didn't bring anything up about not going on stage. I could have easily brought two things up, but I didn't. I didn't want to put him on the spot. I just wanted, he's a very calm, cool person. He can go think through this. Like Follow Your Bliss Life went on there. She's Japanese. He's Philippine. There's a lot of history between Japan and Philippines, and none of it's all good. So
Right.
imagine that he could have been like, but he was like, he read off the culture and he read off all the history and the beauty of both cultures. He didn't just point out like the bad about he didn't even point out anything bad. He just said, look at the beauty of what's happened now. Because Philippines, I mean, even though it has tragedy, right now, still with the rebuild, it is a country that people that really want to be united. The second language I learned is English.
Right.
Because it's a world language. Now, I know that if we were kept going the way we were going, the world language, the international language of business, that's what they're talking about. The international language of business is English right now. But in the next 10 years, it could turn into Mandarin very easily.
Right.
Because that's what the Chinese are trying to build up right now. They're the biggest business. So if it would have kept going in the position it was going now, we have an opportunity. And it doesn't matter about a presidency. I'm saying when there's a person in a position that strikes a little fear, or at least shows that they're a man and not a boy, you can't take advantage of them.
Right.
Like literally, you can't go to their face and be like, yo, nani, nani, boo, boo, I'm going to do it anyways. All the bricks are going to pay now for what they try to do because they didn't get in. The Democrats, and they were paying for the Democrats to get in. Putin even endorsed the Democrats. So we're in a very unique position right now that this unity between all of us has an opportunity literally for we're not going to, I'm not saying that we're going to turn into these people that are going to be like 100. I'm saying that we have a message that people can find hopeful now. They don't have to be like, oh, I'm going to go and not think that we can, because there's 8 billion people out there. I'm thinking bigger than just you and me and the four of us right now. I'm thinking that there's 4 million of us out there You know, just like they go in a small group, why can't we unite in a big group? You know, and I know that there's people that do it. When tragedy happens, like the last time I saw patriotism in America was 9/11. I don't know if everybody felt the same thing, but that was the last time I saw real patriotism in America. And then what we do? We went to war for 20 years, and we just beat ourselves up over some stuff. No. We lost family members. We lost, you know, people's minds. PTSD became one of the biggest topics. You know, I know that it sounds touchy, but it's something that we need to resonate with, because there's people out there that have, like, people, we talk about mental health issues. Mental health issues is a very big thing. It's a very important thing. And everybody can have them. Anybody can have them. And it's from not getting support. You know, one of the highest parts of complex PTSD, one of the number one abuse that would happen to someone with complex PTSD is neglect. So imagine what neglect does in our society right now. People are neglected all over the place. So I believe that it's very important that we do get on a point where we're talking about all the kind things and everything, but we have an underlying of a foundation that this is the reason why we're doing, so we can change that type of foundation. We don't need what everything's been told to us. We can change all this. You know, we're 8 billion people. I know, I don't know how people feel that are from the military. I know that they feel that there's maybe something different, but even in the military, I can't imagine that, like, they always think that all the orders that they take are good orders. I can't imagine that. Even though they take it because they sign an oath or something like that, I can't imagine that when they're done, they're like, wow, that was a great order to take, you know? Or, you know, there has to be some people and that's why I think PTSD has been so, because you can't really stand up in the military to your authority. If you do, you get, you know, ask Big Jack. Probably what happens, Big Jack? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Oh,
Hey,
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, it's just I heard everything you were saying. I was just trying to. Hello. Yeah,
yeah,
y'all hear me?
oh no, that's cool.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can hear
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay. No, and
yeah, yeah.
I couldn't hear you talking back to me. I couldn't hear you talk. And if you shut me down, that's cool. I was just wondering, what do they
No,
do
no,
in the
no, no, no.
military? What do they do in the
No, I
military if
mean,
you try?
but if you try to what?
So, like I was saying on on the sense of, like, if you, like, I believe that PTSD also comes from you taking an order that maybe not maybe you, but some military people taking orders that they don't really agree with. You know, and those military get them in trouble, like, so meaning that they get the PTSD because they put themselves in the wrong position because they're taking the orders. They're not listening to their intuition. It's telling them not to be there unless they're really good soldiers. So
Well,
I
I
can
can tell
imagine that
you,
really good soldiers have intuition more than they have order telling. They have a both,
I
but
can
the
tell you,
intuition is what keeps them alive.
I would have to say on that right there is the anytime that you have to take somebody's life, and I don't care what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna haunt you. It's gonna bother you. You know what I'm saying? It is. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
can't imagine that it would.
it could be a lawful order or unlawful, but at the same time,
It
whatever you had to
matters. You
do,
took a
yeah,
life.
and it does. And for years, it was dismissed like it didn't. You know, it's not real, and we didn't have to worry about it. But so
Who
because we had
dismissed it? You did. You had to
well, no,
dismiss
no,
it.
no. But the thing is, you know, when people was coming back from Vietnam and the Korean War and all, they was having these same issues. We
No,
just
of
didn't
course.
know about them. We didn't know them to be what they're called. So we pretty much pushed it to the side and said that wasn't real, and you know, suck it up and pull yourself up and this and that. It wasn't until you know later that it was like, wait, these things are real. These are real mental issues, and these are things that we need to address.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, why? Well, you know, well, for years we didn't do this, and now why is it a problem? It's a problem. It was a problem a long time ago. We just didn't
Right.
address it
You know
then.
that
And we had
that
a
it
lot of
really
people.
starts from complex PTSD,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because
yeah.
most people want to go into teams because they don't have the team at home.
Mm,
Why? The reason your boys don't need to go unless they really want to, because they're already men. They found every ingredient of what a man is right there. They don't need to be
yeah.
their ass. Their ass don't
Mm,
need to be whipped.
yeah.
They learned. They
Right.
learned about life.
Yeah, and that's
You
the
s-
thing is, so but when you're put in a situation, and that's anything where your beliefs or your morals or you know, I can tell you this: when you're sitting out there and you're in the middle of a battlefield or whatever, that person across from you, they don't want to be there. They got a family, they got a wife, they got kids. They don't want to be up there fighting you. They're doing their job like you're doing your job, and then it's like
But
who's going to do their job the best?
the
and walk
question would
away
be
from it.
this. The question I ask is this, Big Jack. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Mhm.
Why do we even have a job like that?
I mean,
Why do we allow our governments to get into a position that our job is about giving our life up to? Who loses? Not them. They don't lose
no,
anything.
and there's no 100%. There's no winner in war. There's
Not
no
at
winner.
all. Either side.
So 100%. But at the same time, we have some things that we hold sacred, and that it bothers me. And I really don't want to get into that, but
No,
it
no,
does
no, no,
bother
no,
me.
no. Please, 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 please don't.
Right.
Please don't. Please
So,
don't.
but the thing is, remember that movie, A Few Good Men, and all that. Those people that's sitting on those walls so that you can sleep in your bed calmly at night and all that. They're out there, and we need them to be there.
No, I
100%, we
understand
need them
that.
to be there. But
I'm
when
not
you
against them
go,
being there. I'm against the people that put them there.
oh, but that's a whole. But like I say, that's a whole nother story. But the thing is, my job is to
Keep all of you guys
be
alive.
right there and guard my post and make sure nobody comes across. And
I
what happened,
respect that.
the date that you put out there, and yes, it was very, very traumatic to everybody.
Right.
But it was really traumatic because it was the first time that someone had crossed those borders and got inside. And we had never had that except for Pearl Harbor. We never had that problem. And then we got real complacent to the point that no one ever got inside. So now it was like, whoa, wait a minute, how vulnerable are we that somebody was able to get in? That really bothered a lot of people. So
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
I want to ask. I'm sorry for interrupting. I need to ask a question. So I had a conversation with somebody before I got on, and the conversation was like the girl that got into the Capitol on January 6th, that got killed because she was trying to. What I said was this: is if Pelosi would have made sure there was enough military guard there, or people staff there, they would have been able to interact with them at the doors. They would have never got inside. Is that the truth? Would they have ever got inside?
I don't agree with that. So I'm like I say, there's some areas you just try not to get there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just wonder why.
Because
not you, but I wonder.
The fact is, and you got to look at it. The hardest thing that you can ever imagine doing in your life is being at arms against somebody that's your family member.
That's what I'm saying.
But
does that happen?
We've never. Yeah, it happens it happened. So that was so. We if we can, we'll take that one offline. Me and you can talk about that one offline.
Okay, so no problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
Because it is touchy, and I don't.
No. We can totally erase this. Not erase it, but we can stop the subject right now. I have to be responsible because I wouldn't. You're right. I want to talk about this stuff, and I'm not. I don't know if we're able to talk about this on my life.
I would love to talk to you. It's just there was always a place and a time to do anything. And
no, you're right. You're totally right. And I know that people are listening. I expect that, and I know that there's comments right now. It says there's like 20 something. I think it is.
And that's the thing. So there's some people posted some good comments down there, and I know Miles had a question that maybe somebody can help him with because it was back.
I know that Peter said something like Mira is so good because she doesn't care about her channel and will sing exactly on anyone's channel.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just for the love of sharing her gift of music. She has 27,000. I mean, look at that. Barely posts. She's not monetized by choice.
Yeah,
so
and
she can get monetized, and she's not monetized by choice.
And we talked about that before. Some people they don't want it. I don't even want that. That's just not even why I'm here. But this is the one I was talking about here.
You talking about Miles, the first one too?
Miles said he's been censored and whatever you want to call it very much. I noticed that back in the CO to the V days, wasn't allowed to share what helped me. I'm not 100% on the question, so I don't know. But that's what he posted. So
which one was that? Where was it? At the bottom, sort of? Like I see. Is it after?
It's in the middle. It was above Peter's one that you just did with Peter. So,
okay, so I've been censored. Okay, so that one I've been censored, or whatever you want to call it.
Very much.
I noticed this back in the CO in the okay, and the V in the okay. It wasn't allowed to share. So like, okay, I know what it is. I know what it is. He's talking about, he's talking about the pandemic. So,
Right.
so in those days you couldn't talk, but right now we're inside the actual outskirts of the pandemic because we will never be in that position though these next 4 years. There's no mandatory anything right now. There's no Fauci is in trouble. Fauci is running for everybody. So that right there, I understand. So I don't think it'll happen again. Google will try to do it, and as soon as if they try to censor me, good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I'll go write my congressman. He's a Republican.
Mm.
You know, he might not like what I have to say, but he's there to speak for me. So, the thing about it is I feel that we've been bullied enough as people. And I understand that there's a lot of loyalty in this country, but I've been speaking to people that have been telling me I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Like my dad's widow is telling me that there's so many smart people in her family and that I'm going to learn a lesson these next 4 years. Yet they were letting the country go down the drain. How am I going to learn a lesson? I learned it already.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I have to, that's the only reason I bring these subjects up. I do apologize again, but reading that is what's got me back into it. I understood exactly what he said because he separated it enough. So just in case, because they'll look at this chat, that's when we go to get monetized, so like Peter's talking about Mirror not getting monetized by choice, but imagine when we go try to get monetized, it's our choice. So we're
Right.
trying to be a partner with them. If we talk about stuff that they don't want us to talk about, like me and my big mouth, they'd be like, "Yo, Todd, we don't want you. There's no partnership there's no partner that wants you. And what are you offering us?" And so that's what the first stage is, I believe, is when you get 3,000 watch time hours and you get 500 subscribers. They want to see, do those people, are they loyal to you? How many people get memberships? How many people give you super chats? How many people give you stickers? That's where they're checking to see, even if you're going to get any kind of traction with money. And then they go off and give you the 1,000, you get that, and you get the 4,000. Now you can get AdSense. What kind of ads are you getting?
Yeah.
There's different types of ads. There's good ads and then there's poop ads.
Yeah. But then listening to Nemo talking, and he was saying he doesn't even push for the super chats and all that because of the fact that a lot of his subscribers, they're going paycheck to paycheck. They don't have the money to drop that extra stuff and all that.
No, of course not.
So
But
it's like,
there's a far few people that will do it, and I understand that.
no, and there's some that will, but the thing is, and I feel like that too. It's like, it's one thing if this is going to be your career, and this is how I'm out here and I'm selling a product, or if I'm out here trying to, build relationships and network and watch some good talent and things like that. So that's what I'm all about. So it's not about
exactly.
Yeah, it's not about if I ever hit when that, like I sent a guy, I sent him a suggestion. You don't have to follow it at all, but if it worked for me, and it's just use this in a short. If you use that sound in the short, I promise you'll see your numbers just go up, and but it's just different ways of getting to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and everybody has a different style. So we talked the other day about fishing, and we talked about hunting,
right?
And you could talk to 5 fishermen, and they all tell you something different about how to tie a knot, how to bait the hook, how to catch the fish, right? So they all got their own ways of doing it. It's just the fact of it worked for you, and if it worked for you, then it's like, well, I'm gonna share it with you because this is how I catch a trout. Well, I've never to this day caught a trout, but that doesn't say I don't know how to fish. The only thing I learned, I know they're in there. It's but why you not catching them? Well, one person said you don't have the patience to catch a trout. You got to be sitting there and just let that thing sit, and I don't have it. I'm ready. I'm more that bass. I want something that's gonna come out and snap on that thing with something.
Right.
So because of that, you got to know who you are. You got to know what you're about. You got to know, what I'm saying? So, sometimes it's 2 things that I really, really, really try not to talk about. And even if you watch my show, you probably see me, and that'd be the religion, 100%, and politics. That's the other side of it, because it's so many different angles to it. and it's like, and it's not saying that I've served proudly. I served 100% proudly. Every day I went to work. Every day I
Of
put on my
course.
uniform. I put my
I'm
life on
not
the
I'm not
line.
here in America without you.
Yeah, and I say, and I
I know
went to
that.
defend. I went to defend 100%. And I
I know
know
that.
throughout the years
And with all the
that
men that you did it with, I know that they stood up
they
for
all.
my
And
freedom.
but what
So
we
I
did
can
not talk about when we was in those foxholes, and what we did not talk about in those tanks, and what we did not talk about when we were doing all of that was
your mental
what
health.
political
Oh,
party that was in charge. Because the person
really?
that was, whoever was the president is the commander in chief, and that was it. It just stopped. That is it. We like we tell 100%. I'll say that to 1,000 people. You do not have to like the person, but you will respect the rank, and that's how it is. And that's exactly what's put in your mind. That's what's drilled into your
So the
body.
news is gaslighting us when they say
Well,
that
I'm
there's
just saying.
military
I'm just
people.
telling you. I'm telling you what's being trained. You don't have to like the person, but you will respect the rank, and because of that, he is the commander in chief. And everybody that's in those uniforms out there, they're going to look at him just like that. He is the commander in chief. So regardless if you like it, I don't care who's in office, they are the commander in chief. So you do what you're asked to do, and you make the
Mhm.
job. You get the mission complete, a mission accomplished, and you walk
Well,
off.
let me ask you a question on that. Do you think DEI has changed this?
No, why?
Well,
What does it
because
mean?
what does it mean?
Yeah,
It means inclusion.
inclusion of what? So everybody is included. What's wrong with that?
Right, but the difference is that the people that were the minorities that didn't get, so the people that are getting given jobs just because they're minorities, they're not given the
Is
job
that
because
what
of
you think? I mean, wait a minute, wait a minute,
yes,
wait a
it's
minute,
totally
wait a
true.
minute.
You know, so check this out. I'm a 54-year-old guy,
Mm-hmm,
54-year-old white guy. There's
mm-hmm,
no jobs available for me. None. I don't have the training to do that. I can go get a job at Winn-Dixie. I can go get a job at Publix. I can go get a job at Walmart. I could, but do I want a job for $13 an hour? There's no way. There's no way. Not that I think that, but I don't have the strive to do that and then come on here and do this. So I figure I'm going to put all my energy into this.
So, so you're saying I'm a 54-year-old African American that I'm gonna get that job because they wouldn't give it to you?
No,
Is
but
that how it works?
they'll give that job to a woman.
But that's that. If anything, that person's more qualified. That's why they
No,
got the
no,
job.
it has nothing to do about qualifications. It's because they need to have that person in that role.
No, I mean, I don't
It's
agree with that one.
it's
I
called
don't
it's
know.
called ESG. It's called
Mm,
so the ESG movement has been going on since BlackRock, and
mm,
ESG means have you heard of it?
yes.
Okay, so it's a really big thing in the corporate. It's a score. It's a score of businesses that now have to score themselves that they'll be in business with each other. So if you're a business that does not have an ESG score that's proper, you
Mm.
can't do business with one that's high ranking because they can't do business with you. You
So
can
all
ask
that,
them.
but in a sense, all that tells us is that then it was not fair before. So if you have to put something in place to make it fair, then it wasn't fair.
No, it was fair because capitalism is always fair. When you can drive. So what they say is not fair is a monopoly. But you think about it, when you go and do anything that people that know the game before you, they're always have an advantage. All the people in the stock market, they have the advantage before anybody knows anything that's going on. These people like the bigwigs, they can sell their stuff 6 months advance before we even
Mhm.
know that that's something we should have sold.
Right.
Why is that fair? When we get left holding the bag and all that money gets lost, do you know how many people lost money in 9/11 because the economy went to shit?
Mm.
And all the money and all the banking got lost in the towers, and that's why they had to go and get redundant systems after the fact.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying, you know, there's things that we can really look at and we can stop them. Why do you think everything's in computers and they keep threatening us with EMPs? Because if they do an EMP, then everything is lost, right? Would that make that everything's electronic is gone in that area?
I mean, I'm hearing you, but I'm telling you,
That's all
I'm
I'm saying. I'm not trying to bring up any conspiracies. I'm just
yeah.
saying there's things that are out there that if we open our eyes and we really see it, especially people that have been like read in. I'm not saying that you've been read in on anything, but you've seen so much more than I've even seen in my life. But I can see this stuff when I'm looking at it online and I'm reading it and I'm following people that are really understanding this stuff. So to me, I just don't, I'm not able to grasp my thought. And that's why the whole thing with unity, because I ask everybody, I think I asked you already, what would be, and everybody here, what would be the single first thing that we would all have to do as human beings to have unity? What would be the single first thing? Big Jack, you can go first. You probably know already.
I don't know. So what would be the first thing
Treat
we have
others
to?
like you want to be treated.
Well, that would be 100%. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
So
Okay.
the first one would be, you treat me the way you want me to treat you. And
Okay.
simply, if you don't do that, then we have shit. Right? Because one person's going to defend themselves. They're not going to let them be bullied.
Mm.
So easily, that's what happens in society. Treat everybody like you want to be treated. Believe that God has given us that opportunity. Stop taking that away from us. And if we stand up to it, that's why I always step in. I don't care if I get sucker punched because I step in. I'm going to stand up to that person that's trying to be a bully to somebody that they shouldn't be a bully to, because I've
Right.
been bullied.
I think sometimes we give more credence to somebody by calling ourselves standing up to them than just blocking them out and just not having anything to do with them. Sometimes.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Like, don't let the emotion get to you. But the
Right.
emotion that's getting to me is that it keeps happening. It's not a single person. That's what I keep trying to say. It's not a single person. There's 8 billion people in this world. So there's so many people that have the opportunity to join together. Who may I be seeing right here?
Mm.
Who's here? We're changing the
Yeah.
subject, huh?
No,
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 no.
no.
Oh, Big Jack's too.
Two
Yeah,
Jack.
my computer's acting up again.
Give
Give
me
me
a
a
Oh,
second.
second.
I thought you were because I see two different views. Oh, okay. So you're in your phone and that. Okay.
Hello with a Jack.
I
Hi, Big
think
Jack.
yeah, he got off of one of them.
Yeah,
I see
because
that on my phone.
the computer's acting up again, so I wasn't able to.
So where are we
So
going
you know,
next? Where are we going next on this one so we can change the subject?
you know, and it is a touchy subject, and
You're
you
right.
know, and it's only because it goes off the perspective of
Give me 1
who's
second.
having the conversation.
Did you see what Because I Can said? So sorry I didn't recognize. I knew you were here a while ago, but I got into this conversation. So did you read? Do you want me to read it or did you read it?
No, you can. I mean, you go ahead. You can read it.
So
I'm
Because I
because
Can
I'm
says,
switching up.
I remember that in the army, in my time, they had ESG. They used the agenda and promoted people to support the agenda. I watched people that did not do the work that got merits and got promoted. And haven't you seen that too? That didn't deserve their
Uh,
position and they're in higher positions than you, and you know you deserved it, but you didn't get seen because they did something better than you, or they were in a situation where ESG came in. You know, it's fun. And the only reason I'm saying that is because one of the people inside the guest, they heard it and they said something. And then you have
well,
Bros Tuss G, okay, sort of defined the odds. I want to tell you what exactly I did. That doesn't matter. No pitch. G first. Neighbors second. 3 is said in those actual verses, in my opinion. So then he says, my rent was 70% my net income. There was no way I was going to make it out of the city. I did not, I did my best for a long time and prayed for my kids to have some grass to play on. Then he says at the bottom here, it says, because I can, says 2014 to 2015. He was in the military. And this is not long ago. That's 10 years ago. 10 years
mhm.
ago, this was already started. It does take time for things to activate, but look where we're at right now. They put on the let's just change the subject. I was reading that. I'm sorry everybody that I brought us on here. I was almost homeless too. The only reason I'm where I'm at right now is because I'm paying $700 less a month. Have an opportunity. Now I'm not paying the full 700 yet. I'm not getting that full amount because I still have my storage. But by the end of February, I will have my storage closed. I will not be charged for March.
Right. Mm.
So that's what I'm looking to do this month, is go back down south to go get my stuff and get back up here and get, all my stuff taken care of and save this money. It might even be almost $800 with all the, whatever the fees and stuff.
Right.
But that's what it is right now. We're in a situation right now where we have this is a luxury, don't you think? Like,
But
on
we.
top of it being a job, like us being able to be on here right now at what, 2 o'clock in the morning?
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it's a. I mean, technology and the ability to do these things is we talked about that earlier too. That it definitely has put you in a different position. Because, like you say, we're live, we're sitting next to each other, we're
Right.
talking. Those are the things that I couldn't have done it in when I was 23 years old or 22 years old. It just wasn't a feature. But
But wait a second,
it-
it was a feature. It was because if you go back to the actual movie, and I don't want to say that movies already are promoting what is happening in the future, but if you go back to the Fast and the Furious that was in Tokyo, that was the second or the third one. I think that was in like 2009, 2010 maybe. That
mm,
video had them doing exactly this thing. They were
yeah,
doing it
but
amongst themselves.
but
They were
I
tracking
wasn't.
all the cars.
I wasn't 20 in 2009. I'm talking 1990. When I
No,
turned
no, I
20 years
understand. I
old. Yeah,
understand
yeah,
that. I
yeah, yeah.
understand that. But they had this almost 18 years ago, earlier.
Well, we can go further back. I mean, the cartoon that grew up on the Jetsons had us flying in cars and all that
Right.
stuff. So, I
Exactly.
mean, the mindset was there that it could be done. It's just now its ability. Like
Don't you want a
I
car
think I
still in a
was
back? Don't you still
I
want a
think I
car in a
was
briefcase? I still want a car in a briefcase.
a car in the briefcase, but I don't want to see a flying car. So because I
Oh,
know how I am.
really?
I'm lazy. I'm lazy with gas, so I know I'll probably fall out the air because I didn't ran out of gas or whatever. So
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
waiting. I'll be waiting till that light come on. I know I'm gonna fall out the air. So like,
Well, I
too many
I
know,
don't
people
have
I
doing
time to
that.
know,
land before the gas
I
runs out.
know that I
Yeah.
wouldn't have my air brakes properly maintained. You
Right.
know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just too many unknowns on that. So to the point that even the self-driving cars, I'm like,
oh,
nah, I'm all right. I need to have that control of my hands on the wheel. I can't let it
yeah.
do it on its own.
I
So
can't handle
yeah,
that either, brother.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't handle
So,
that either, man.
you,
but
you,
but but the technology is getting us to that, and it's allowing us to get to that part, and the ability is starting to be there, and because of that, now we a lot of laws and things that have to change, and we're going to have to change with it. We're either going to change with it, or we're going to suffer as a world of people. You're going to change.
Mm.
So so I know your original question, and we can take that offline too, and all that.
yeah,
There's
no,
so
no, no.
many things.
All of
There's
the
so
things
many
we can
things
take
that we
offline.
talk. Yeah,
So right now,
but
what is
I'm gonna tell
everybody's
you
favorite
this.
color?
But no,
Okay.
no, no. Let me tell you this though, and to be straight, because I'm on my phone now. So,
Okay, okay, cool, cool.
but because the computer it just overheats, and that's one thing about the streaming, especially when you're hosting, because you got so many
Yeah.
things running. So like when you're just viewing, you're just watching. But if you're running a ticker going across, and you got guests coming in, and the chat's
So all the
flying down,
CPU
so
power
yeah,
and
it's
everything.
it's going, and it's an older computer, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's just
My
anyway.
my
But
my
my
Ma- no,
other
my
one,
MacBook Air sucks. Like it
yeah, my
works, but
other
it
one is
sucks.
much better. My other one is much better, and it probably could handle it. But this one is. But anyway, I'm on the phone,
Right.
and we have come along a long, long way from where we were, and with that comes change. And some people, when changes are made, the ones that feel that they're most affected by the change, saying it wasn't fair because I'm saying this, but then the ones who had to fight to get that change, they like it took us way too long to get here. It's
Yeah.
like it's way too dang long to get here. So we're
Right.
looking at a person that came in as a guest, and I'm gonna share this with you, and it's not it's what it is. But a person came in as a guest and they used the word. We heard the word and it was in the song, and we
Right.
was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, 100%. My birth certificate, my birth certificate, 1970 is when I was born.
Me
Okay,
too, brother. Me too.
okay, what 1970, right?
Yep.
On my birth certificate where it says race, it says Negro. That's
Are you
what's on my birth
serious?
certificate. That's on my birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was in 1970, 54 years ago. And so do y'all believe yeah, that was on my birth certificate.
Mm.
So, so I'm in this conversation, I'm looking in this chat, and I can't say that everybody can say the same thing about their birth
No.
certificate, but that's what's on mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what you have to deal with. So then when you say, is it fair or whatever? Yes. But I think again, I'm looking at it in this sense. If I say everyone's going to get a pair of Nikes, size 9, that's not equal.
Right.
because I
Because
don't
you
wear a
can't fit in
size
them.
9. I
Right.
wear a size 15 shoe. Okay.
Right.
But if
Right.
I'm gonna give everybody a pair of Nikes who wear the exact same shoe, then we're equitable. We're equitable. We're right there. We're
Right.
on the same page.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's for everybody. It's not for any one person to get over on somebody else. It's just like, why do I have to be treated different because of the color of my skin or because I got a disability or because DEI goes, I mean, really, that was for veterans.
Yeah.
That's
Well.
veterans too catch on that.
No, I know. I know. It's
So
everybody that they want to be considered a victim, that is a
but
victim of whatever
but
their
we're
circumstance
not
is.
a I'm not a victim. I'm
No,
a
you're
veteran.
not, but they're looking. Okay, so this is what I believe is that you have this thought, but what you're saying, and I do too, of what I'm saying, because the division was implanted or programmed into us. So we're having a discussion right now about something that in the 70s, I wonder if it says Caucasian on mine or white. I don't know what it says on mine. I haven't looked at it in a while. Does yours is yours capital letters?
I don't know. I mean, no, it is because it starts with a capital letter. Yeah,
Right.
100%.
No, no, I mean is it
Yeah.
all capital letters?
No, it's not all capital letters. Yeah.
Okay, so
So
there's two
I
birth
don't know.
certificates.
I would have to look. I would have to look to see if it's all capital letters. But
Okay,
I
so
can tell you this: this is not the one with your little feet on it, and
right,
it's my official birth certificate, and that's what I was at that time. That's
right,
what at that time we were as a race of people were called. So that's what it
right.
was. So
So is
and I
the
just
more
happened to be born at
important
that
one
time.
is the one with your feet because that has your footprints on it. That gives you your
Yeah.
fingerprint. So that's the
Mm.
more important one. That's the one in capitals. Do you understand what the capitals mean?
I'd heard you talk about it before, but I don't. But I can tell you this: if I pull out that one with my feet and try to go get something with, they're not going to look at that. They want the other one. So they're not looking at the one with your feet. That's the
Right.
pretty one they gave you leaving out the house. The one, the official one
No.
that on your records is the one that's going to come out. When I went in the military, they didn't want the one with my feet on it. They wanted
Right.
my official document. So,
Right.
but even taking all that to the side, and like I said, I don't want to
No, no, no. Of course not. Of course not.
get caught up in it. So I appreciate where we
Look
at,
at how this
and
whole conversation is gone. I mean, it's so
oh
crazy.
yeah, and the
Thank you
thing
so
is,
much, guys.
and
Thank you so much, Joe.
that's where I really wanted to go with this, and that's where I was trying to hit to, and I got even myself sidetracked. This is real talk
Yeah.
conversations. So when you're having a real talk conversation, it's going to be sometimes it's going to be thick. Sometimes it's not going to be, it's going to be hard to maneuver and all. But what I want out of this, and this is my vision of all that, that when it's all said and done, we can all get out of here and go our separate ways. It's not going to be
Yeah.
an argument. It's not going to be a fight, and we're not,
Yeah.
like I say,
Uh,
no one person is going to say they're right or one person.
This
You
is
can
no
say it.
Jerry.
You could, yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
you
none of
can
those
say it a thousand
nonsense.
times. You can say it 1 million times that you were right. This is the way. This is the way. But there's too many other ways because
Right.
what you're saying about division and all that other stuff, the most segregated time in the United States, and let's just think about that, is Sunday. Sunday
Hmm.
morning, we all go into a whole different set of worship.
Yeah.
This and we're so
Mhm.
segregated on Sundays.
Yeah, I know.
100%. So
I know.
that's why I say that's one of the things I don't talk about. And I
I understand.
because when we go into that booth, we really do.
Right.
We go into a booth, we pull a curtain, and you cast, and no one knows what you did. So because of that, you don't have to know. Yeah, I don't
So are
have to
you
tell you. You
Catholic?
don't
Are
have to
you
know.
Catholic? Are you
No,
Catholic?
no.
Okay.
But I was
So,
wait a minute. I was baptized a Catholic.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means that you go to confession.
Not no
Is it?
no.
No.
Again, I was baptized. So at that time, I was what 2 weeks old. So
Okay. So you never. So,
Yeah.
but no, because you just said we go inside the and we close the door. We close
no,
the
when I was
actual.
talking about that, that's your election, the election booth, the
Oh,
election.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. No, because you
yeah.
do that inside. That's why I thought it was because
One
with
hundred
Catholics they
percent,
go to.
100%. I know the, but that's yeah. So, but
You're not
when I
talking to
was,
God. You're talking to a man, and that person could be doing a whole bunch of bad stuff with that
and
information.
you don't know, you don't know,
Right.
you don't
And
know.
you believe that
But
he's
but
talking
but
to.
but you know how I
Oh,
look at that. You know how I look at that because since we're in that neighborhood right now.
right.
Is like when you see a person that might be homeless on the street, right? And you say, "Well, I'm not going to give to that person because they might do this, this, and this with it." That's not why I gave it to you. I gave it to you because it was put on my heart to give to you, and that's why you got it. Whatever you do with it is your business right now because I'm not
Really?
contributing. Because I gave it to you because it was on my heart to give to you. I don't give to everybody, but if it was put on my heart to give, and if you did something wrong, then you took that blessing that you could have maybe got a meal and did something else. That's
Mhm.
not. It's not for
Do
me
you,
anymore to figure it
can I
out.
Can I ask you a question? Do you live in a
Yes,
place that if you were to have two meals in your car and you saw somebody asking for money and they said, I need a meal, and you're like, okay, this is my daughter's meal, but I'm going to give it to this person. And then they took that meal and they put it on the ground and they kicked it. How would you feel?
I
You
still
know that
I
they're
would be
asking for,
up. You know what? I would be 100% upset that you wasted that food. But at the
right.
same time, once I gave it to you, it's whatever you do with it. How
If you
many other
want to
things?
Now,
Is,
cheat on,
how many
if
times are
you
you going to
want
do
to,
that though?
if you
How many
want
times will
to
you do
take
it?
a leak on a blessing that I have give to you from my heart, that I feel like I
Right?
was led to give to you, and you're
Right.
ignorant enough as a human being to do that to a blessing gift, then that's on you now. I can walk away from that, and God's still going to smile on me no matter
Mhm.
what you did. And the more credence I give to your ignorance, the more power I give you over that situation. I'd walk away from it and say, I did what was on my heart. That's the best I can do with that.
That's the bottom line.
That's it. There's no
No
more
Okay.
different, no
arguing.
different, no different if you came and if I gave you something. So I knew I'm using your name only, Todd, not to say
No, that's
you in
cool.
the
It's cool. No, no,
situation,
I understand. I
but
understand.
I know that you have you needed, say you needed $100 or whatever, right?
Right.
And I gave it to you, but yet I get on the chat and that's all I keep talking about. Yeah, and I gave Todd $100, gave Todd 100. That's not a
Right.
blessing anymore.
No,
That's
No.
not a
no, no.
blessing
You're a
anymore.
bragger.
Yeah, right. So you took it
Hmm.
away, but at the same time, if I just gave it to you and we never said another word about it, because I don't loan money. I don't loan money at
Right.
all. I
You
don't
give it
loan it
and that's it. Because
because
loaning
I
it, you know
don't
you're
want to
not going to
lose.
get it.
I don't want to lose my relationship or my friendship with you over money. So,
Yeah.
but I follow the scriptures with this. I only give what I can afford to lose. Listen to
Right.
that and listen well. So if I lose it, I'm not going to be tripping over it. So when I give it to you, if you don't give it back, it's like if I lost it, it fell out my pocket. So that makes me kind of cheap sometimes too,
Well,
because
no,
I'm
no. Let me
only
ask
going
you
to
this
give.
question, though. If I can put it on a maybe a religious note, because you believe in Christ, right? You believe in
Yes.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't yet. I don't yet. If you hear the
Okay.
yet right there, because I'm
I got you.
opening my mind. So I know that I've heard that Jesus walked around basically being the poorer version of the Messiah that's going to be coming in the second Messiah. So he was there to show the weakness of man and see how man would take advantage of that. That's what he was put here, and they totally did exactly what they were supposed to do: take advantage of this person that was literally God. Okay, now let me ask you this question: would that person that you would notice as Jesus, would they be as equivalent as somebody that's walking around taking the food? Would you
Okay.
rather know that you're giving to the now I'm saying if you knew that there was people that you gave to and they kicked the food after how many times that you allowed the food to be kicked, would you be like, I'm not giving to these people until I know that they're like Jesus? Have to watch them for a little bit because I'm not going to just let what I'm giving. So you're giving something, yes, but you're giving to something that's feeding the negativity. Like they're already negative. They're not looking at the positive. Like everybody needs to change themselves. We can't change them. A
Mhm.
person that's begging for money, have to change that money thing. They keep begging for money and asking for money because they're in that situation. Do you know that here in Florida where I live, that most of the people that are living on the street, that's their business, that's their job. They go ask for money and then they go hang out in their trailer home. Literally.
Mhm.
So this is not something that's like it's a scam. Not all of it, not all of it. No, I'm
Mhm.
not saying all of it, but I'm saying how do you tell the difference between the ones that are the scammers and the ones that are real?
Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So that person who gets up every morning, goes out there, put their hand out, and get enough money to survive, to pay
Right.
their rent, pay their utilities, pay to eat, put food on the table, and you're upset with them because that's what they call and that's
No, no,
their
I'm not
hustle.
upset with them.
No,
I'm upset with the fact that they're asking for money from me that's working when they can go out and work too. What's the hustle? The
but
hustle's at the street, at the store, I mean at the
but
street asking for money?
but that is a
That's
job for them.
that's okay, so is
That's
that a
wait a minute.
job? Is that a godly
I
job?
want you to
Is
look
that a
at that.
godly job? Is that a
What I'm
godly
saying,
job?
I want you to think of that
No,
as
no,
a
I am. I'm
content.
asking, is it a godly
No, I
job?
am. I'm gonna try it. Think of that as a content creator.
Right?
You're coming
I
in
haven't
here.
I haven't asked for a penny yet.
No, but no, likes, views, watch hours. We're hustling,
It's
trying to get
organic.
to a spot.
It's organic. I'm here naturally. I start these arguments. People don't like
But
sometimes that I talk this stuff.
have you seen some of those signs? You don't think they're very creative on trying to get that money and how they hustle that thing out in the
Don't
middle
you
of the
see that I
cold?
barely
Where
Don't you
Hmm?
see that I barely ever I say like or subscribe? I say you make the choice. If you want to
No,
subscribe to
I
me
got
next,
you.
you
I
look
got you. And you make a choice if you're going to put into their plate or their bucket or whatever when they
Mhm.
brought it
right.
out there. You make the choice. You yeah, and if no one gave them anything, they go back home and they have to like we didn't make no money
That's what I'm
today.
saying. We
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
do the
yeah.
same thing with another with all this stuff. We need to be. How do you treat your how you treat yourself? Do you want to be a beggar or do you want to be a creator? I
Mm.
want to be a creator. I want to
Right. I
create
got you.
things that show people how to create. I don't
No,
want
I
to be
got
someone that's going to be like, oh, I need that because you know something. I used to be that. I didn't
you.
ask
Yeah.
for money, but I asked for help all the time.
Yeah.
Asking for help is the same thing. You know that people don't want to help you when you ask them for help. They want to help you
Mm.
when you're in a bad situation. So you want to help people that are in a bad situation. Now, let me ask you this: how many people in your life that are friends or maybe from the military or whatever that have come to you in a serious situation and been like, "Yo, Big Jack, I'm in this bad situation." They ask for something, and you're like, "I don't want to lend you money because well, I'll give you the money." And they're like, "No, no, no, there's too much. It's too much money or something like that." What happens then?
Well,
What
then you don't
happens to
need
your
it.
psyche where you're like, hey, I can give you about $100, but I can't give you $5,000.
Right.
Like you're asking me for
And
5,000
so
bucks,
this is my feeling on that. Then you don't need it. Because if I'm gonna give you a portion of it, so maybe
right?
I can't give it all to you, but I'm gonna give you a portion.
Right?
So you're gonna be 100 less than what you needed when you first came to me, and you
Understood?
turn it down because it's not
No,
the
no, no.
whole
They're
thing.
not turning it. They're not turning it down. What I'm saying is this: that they're accepting that $100, but you know that they need $5,000, and you're
Mm.
not saying I'm going to give you all of it. I'm just going to give you $100 of it, which is
Because
what?
what I'm not going to do. Remember we talked about that before. I'm not going to be uncomfortable to make you comfortable. I
What
can't
if it's
afford the
what
five
if it's to
thousand. I can't
support their
afford the five
what if it
thousand.
supports their kids? What if it's a man like you that couldn't pay for your kids one day? God forbid. I'm just saying, if you
I'm
didn't
with you.
if you didn't go to work and you didn't hustle your butt, and now and you're on the street, do you think that your character does not want to be begging for money? Your boys did
Mm,
not learn how to be men by saying, "Oh, I'm going to go out for a handout." They're going to go and give somebody to help them. You help people. Now you're going to go help somebody that's not helping themselves. That's what I'm saying. I help people that
mm,
help themselves. I will
right.
not help somebody that doesn't know how to help themselves. So I
Mm,
don't give people money that ask for it. I'll go buy them a sandwich and
right.
I'll give it to them.
If that's what's on your heart to do, then you do
That's
that.
what's no, that's what's on my
That's
heart. That's
mm,
what's exactly because I've been a partier. I like to party. And so I
mm.
know that these people like to go get drugs or go get alcohol. I will
Some,
not pay for that. I want them to have food if that's what they're asking
but
for.
the
So when I
thing
see them,
is, some of them.
no, it's not all of them. I do
Yeah,
put them
right.
into a stereotype. I
Because
do.
let me tell you this part right here. Um, that sandwich is not going to pay my light bill. That sandwich
No.
is not going to pay my rent. So if they were actually using it to do exactly what they're, but it's not for me to say what you're going to do with it.
Isn't that
You
called
know what I'm saying?
panhandling? Isn't that called panhandling?
Yeah, I
There's a
mean
law
we
against. There's a
yeah,
law against that. Do you know why there's a law
100%.
against it? You know why there's a law against that, right?
But there's a
Because
law
most
against.
people are because they're scamming people. They're like,
Oh,
because I don't want to work, you should pay for my lifestyle.
yeah, I mean, or I
I'm
can't
just
work, or I can't work.
oh, so if you can't work, shouldn't the government be paying you, not me? And
Well,
what if you're
I
getting
mean,
government? What if you're getting government food stamps? You're getting
eh,
government pay, and it doesn't help you.
let
I
me
mean,
tell you
there's
I'm
something.
so
Let
sorry.
me,
many what ifs. I mean, it's like, I
yeah,
mean, at some point you got to say if it's just too
That
darn big and make a
no, it's
decision that's based on your heart, your moral character, and if it
that's
fits in them both, then do it. And if it don't,
hey,
then walk away from it.
yeah,
that's why I
and
say
that,
give is better than receiving because of the
Because
fact that when you give
you're
to somebody
not
that's willing,
as a man, as a just a common man, which is all I am. I do not have no pull or no power to change the situation of that person other than maybe enough to buy them a sandwich. But it's not up to me to choose their sandwich or choose where they buy a sandwich. It's up to me to give them that money. And if they want to go be stupid and
right?
buy something stupid with them, then that's on them. The blessing is still mine to have from God.
Dude, that's okay.
It's that
Everybody,
simple.
I am not talking about anybody needs to change their view. I'm just saying the way, like, this is the way
But
this is where
Todd,
the
what I'm
discussion really
getting
needs.
at is with every response, there's another if, and I'm just saying at some point you have to say, well, there is enough ifs to fill the room, but I've got to get out in order to
No, I'm
completely
telling you
fill it
from
up.
experiences that I've had. I've had enough of these experiences, guy.
Oh,
In
we all
Florida, you
have.
might not have
We
them in
all have.
Virginia. No,
We all
do you
have.
have this? Okay, so
I
maybe you
grew
have
up
had it in
right
Virginia.
outside of Baltimore, Maryland, until I was 19. I seen it on a daily basis, but there was a lot
Okay,
of good people that
I'm not saying
was
that
probably just
I'm
in a
not
bad
saying that they're
spot.
bad people. I'm saying that people that are struggling from. Do you know that most people that are homeless are mental health? They have mental health issues. Most of them have
Yeah.
schizophrenia. Do you know
Sure,
that? Okay,
sure.
so do you know that they're not getting help by the government with that? And so they're not taking
Well,
their medicines. So they're choosing to be out on the street, not taking their medicines, and they're a
well,
threat to
okay.
themselves and to
Let me.
society.
I agree 100%.
So let
Most
me ask you this,
people,
because you live in the
there's a
woods,
lot of people in prison that would be considered drug addicts, which is considered a mental health disorder, but they're in
right?
prison for that very mental
Exactly,
health disorder.
because they got
So, I mean,
caught
we could,
and
but
they
they also
defended it.
committed a crime, so they deserve to be there as well, too.
Of course. Well, the what they really should be looked at is, if you look at it psychologically, they shouldn't have, because they had to commit the crime because of the fact they needed to handle their whatever they were going through.
Yeah.
If they chose to
It
be in that
depends.
bad situation,
If,
like,
if,
I've been
if,
around a
that's
bunch
what
of
I'm
people,
saying. We could
Yeah.
feel that's what I'm saying.
The
There's
thing
so
is,
many
because
ifs.
everybody's situation is so different, it's hard to say,
right?
why, whatever. And
That's why I asked
I
it.
can't. But my whole thing is, I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to ask a person for their resume and all this to figure
I'm
out
not.
if I'm going to give them anything.
Would you even
So
talk to them before you gave them money? That's all I'm saying.
yeah,
I talk to them to find out who they are before I give them the money. I
yeah,
can tell that
and
they're full of it. And why am I going to
sometimes
give somebody that?
100%. 100%. But a person with a real job. So that's to say a
Right?
salesman, a salesperson want to come to your house and sell you something. You could say they're full of it too, because they're sitting there selling, but they got to get this product. So that's how they pay their bills. And I'm like,
Right? They
you're
got to get
selling
the
me a
product
bag of
sold.
goods. You're selling me a bag of goods. So they're out there hustling. Because I remember when I had to be probably 13, 14 years old. I was raised by a single mom, so she didn't have a lot. She
Me
did her
too,
job.
brother.
But at the same time, I went to the gas station every day to the gas station, and I would pump people gas for them or vacuum out their car or whatever, and they would give me a little change here and there. So you could say I was panhandling. You could say I was, freaking.
No, you
But
were
to
doing
me,
something. You
but
were
but
doing something in
but
trade. You were
it wasn't my
bartering.
job. But it wasn't my job. It wasn't a job,
No,
and
but you
those
were a
people.
kid that I used to sell stuff out of my house at a yard sale, dude. I was not
Yeah,
a salesperson, but I used to have a
I
yard
was.
sale that sold out every time.
But the thing is, we can we it was my hustle. That was
It
my
was
way of
mine,
getting
right?
by. So if somebody's going to stand on a corner and hold a sign and collect enough to get by, then that's their hustle. There's no different than if you was to come up into the Baltimore area, like what guys talking about.
Right.
They call them the squeegee people. So you stop at a red light, they come and
Exactly.
they wash your windshields for you and all that. But a lot of people don't want them washing it. I don't want you putting
Right.
water on my car. I don't want you doing this stuff and this, but that's their hustle. So it's how I'm getting from day one to day two. And look, I got a 9 to 5, but that's my hustle. That's because if I don't go to that 9 to 5, then I will be in trouble. So that if and these people, that's where they're at. So I'm grateful for my job. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but at the same time, I can't afford not to go because that's my hustle. That's what I have to do on a regular basis, and I'm good to be in the position I'm in. But it's a lot of people who, whatever for whatever reason, just wasn't allowed at that situation. So I'm gonna think about this real quick. And so during the time of Vietnam and Korea, right, during those war times, right, in the food in your rations, so you get separate rations. So they, well, not separate rations, but they give you an MRE, so meals ready to eat.
Right.
So that's what MRE. So and in there during their time, they had 2 cigarettes that came with your meals. So you used to put cigarettes in the meal, in the food,
Right.
right? So you have 2 cigarettes to smoke after. But then a lot of
And,
people was getting cancer and things like that. Well, we didn't tell you to smoke. Well, you put
right.
it in my food. You put it
Right.
in my food. So you was encouraging me to do something.
Of course they were.
but but it's like, but we didn't tell you to do that. So we're not a fault for your
No,
cancer that you have.
that's called gaslighting. Okay,
Well,
they are at fault.
100%.
No, they are at fault for it. 100%. They're at fault for it because we let them sell us a bag of goods that they weren't at fault for, and we bought into it.
Yeah. Well, and but
They're voted in by us. They vote. We allowed these elected officials to get all away with this semantics. Like you gave us 2 cigarettes, now we're hooked on cigarettes because that's
Mhm.
what we saw as like our way out of like a little second from the war. And
Yeah,
then now we're hooked on it. Now we get cancer when we die from our loved ones. And it's like, oh, well, we're not responsible because we didn't tell you to cigarette.
we
We
didn't
didn't
tell you
give
to
you the
do it.
gun with. We didn't give you the gun with the bullet to tell you to shoot somebody. You shot them. Like we
Right.
taught you how to do it. We
One
told you
hundred
where the
percent.
enemy was. Now your PSD is your own.
Yeah,
That's
one
all.
hundred
That's what you're
percent.
saying. Like that's
But
what is happening.
that's 100%. And that's sometimes. So I don't know that person's situation. So if I don't know why that person is out there on the corner, and I see some of them might say I'm a veteran or I'm this and I'm that, and you look
Right.
around and you like, and I do sometimes, and I do. I look at them. I do more looking than I do anything else. If I see
Right.
a person sitting there with a pair of brand new $200
Nikes.
tennis
Right.
shoes on and this and that, and I'm like, it's a hustle. I know you're hustling. I know you're
Mm.
hustling. But at the same time, again, if I got some spare change or whatever and I feel the urge to give, I just give it. I don't even think two times or three times about it and I move on because
Yeah.
it's not for me to figure out what you're going to do with it. It really isn't for me to
Well,
figure out what you do with it.
any
Um,
listen, any way I mean, not to say listen, because you are, but any way you spend your gift to like the donation, because you know that even in the Jewish religion, it's like the max should be only 20% of your income. So at
mm,
least in the Christian, you know that it's probably like 15 or 20% in the Christian religion too, the
mm,
max that you should give. No more than that, because then you're like doing something else. But you're trying to show off with it. You know what I mean? When you give more than that. But if
mm,
you can give 20%, like give it any way you want to. If it's to people
mm,
that might not deserve it, but you think that everybody deserves it, I'm not against it. I'm just saying for me, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I hope that everybody knows that when I talk about all this stuff, like Guy too, whenever I talk about anything, it is about my vision and my point of view.
mm,
Anybody that agrees with it,
Oh,
great. If you don't agree with it, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just saying that
dude,
these are the
mm,
mind games I play with myself. Do you
I
see them?
hear
They're actively happening.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. What I have a hard time with is that it just becomes a what if game, and it's like I know what you're saying that there's some bad things that people do with it, but I'm just saying that to get to your point that I'm agreeing with is that a blessing gift is exactly that. If it's on my heart to give it, then that's exactly
And
what it is, and what
and
that
that's fine.
person does with it is on them. It's not on me, and I'm not going to give them the credence to argue with it. I'm not going to
mm,
give them the credence to tell them what I think they should or shouldn't do with
mm.
it. I'm
Have
going
you
to
ever
move
thought about it
on.
like this? Okay, so the one that's panhandling, maybe not, but have you ever thought that sometimes people that look like they need money, and maybe you have seen this before, that maybe they don't want money? Literally, they get
Absolutely.
offended. They get offended when you offer them money. Like I've had that
I'm that
before.
man. I don't want nobody
Me
else's money.
too.
I'll go get
Me
my own.
too. Exactly.
And that's 100% the thing. But like I make the comment, and I have no intentions of trying to. I mean, that was in the beginning. There was no
Hmm.
intention to being monetized. Didn't know nothing about monetized and this and that. But you hear me say it all the time. If Google sends me a check, I'm going
Mm.
to cash it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to
Yeah.
cash it.
No, right.
Absolutely.
So if they send me
Absolutely.
a check, I'm going to cash it. But that
Absolutely.
wasn't the drive. That wasn't the drive. I didn't even know about all this stuff, and I just got on here and I started doing it because I just
Yeah.
wanted to do it. So
You did not
if
know
you walked
anybody
up,
before that was monetized. You did not know
no,
that,
I
did
know,
you?
no, 100% no. I told you I've been on here. I wasn't doing that thing. So it
When
was
you're a
it.
viewer, when you were viewing this alone, you never did you ever view it before? Were
No,
you ever like a YouTube?
I viewed, but I didn't think about people getting paid for it because the thing is, I went to Google to find something, and
Hmm.
Google sent me to YouTube, and it's like, hey, and people was
Hmm.
making videos. People was making videos, so it's like, oh, that's cool. They got a video of it to the
Yeah.
point that you don't trust every video you watch. You have to, like,
Hmm.
let me watch three or four of these same videos and see if they all talking about the same thing, and then
That's what
maybe
I keep
we'll get the
saying in
right
my thing.
answer.
Like, if you want to
Yeah,
subscribe to me, watch another video. You don't know if I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
shit to you right now.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
this
but
is
the thing is with that all, it's just the fact that we're trying to, we're trying to get to a point, or we're trying to get to a place. And
Hmm.
when you're trying to get to a place, you have to do what you have to do. Because they might say this person has a full-time job. You just don't know about it because you don't see them work their full-time job. You're seeing them trying to supplement their income because what they go and they go every day doesn't cover what
Like their
what they cover
expenditures.
doesn't take care of everything. So I got to go
Right.
out there. And I'd rather I'm being for real, for real, for real, one
No,
hundred
I
percent.
hear you because you just actually opened my mind to it. Like I don't know.
I would rather I would, me personally, stand on a corner with a cup in my hand than have one of my kids standing somewhere selling their body so we can get this same thing accomplished.
Amen.
Oh, you're
or
definitely right. You're definitely right.
being out there selling drugs or whatever, so we can get the same thing accomplished.
You're
So I
definitely
see
right.
that, and I see that, and people, you have to do what you have to do to
Yes.
get by and to survive. If that takes me having to work 2 jobs or 3 jobs and even stand on the corner to maybe cover the little bit that's left, then I'm gonna stand on that corner. Like you
Yeah.
said, if I had 2 sandwiches in my car and I gave one to someone on the corner, and even if they kicked it down the street and he said I took it away from my kid, then my kid is getting my sandwich
That's right.
Right.
because I'll be the
Okay.
one that go out because I was the one that gave it up. So many times we make mistakes. So people that take that same paycheck and go to a casino or go somewhere and try to
Try to
gamble and
gamble it.
make and double it and you lose it, guess what happened? You just took food from your family. You took food from your
Yes, you
kids and
did.
all of that.
Too
And
many
I
stories I've
was
heard
in
on
that.
like that. Yeah.
I was in that
Oh, you had that.
situation.
Right. Okay.
I was doing that. Look, dude, when I was in the military, when I first got in the military, and who said they was in the military down there? Shoot, who
Because
was
I
it?
can. Because I can.
Because I can. Okay,
Right.
so because I can, yeah. So when I first got in, so I went in 1993, 94, right?
Hmm.
And I got to my first duty station. So if
Right.
they stationed me at Fort Stewart, Georgia. When I first when I first signed in with my family, so I got a wife, I got kids, and they gave us housing. And when I got in there, they said, "Okay, now you're eligible for food stamps." I had a full-time job. I had a full-time. I'm working for the military, and they said you're eligible for food stamps. Gave me a letter so I can go downtown and sign in so I can get. So I'm a E. At that time, I was an E3.
Right.
So I'm a private first class, but I was eligible. And I'm like, wow, I got a full time job. That was the first job I ever had. I mean, real job. And you're eligible
But
for
did it
food
help?
stamps.
Did it help?
100%.
Could you have lived without it?
You can live without it, but it helps to have $200, $300 of
A
money
month,
that you
right?
can buy the
Extra
food.
month, right?
That you can buy the food. So I got way past the pride thing of I can't wear use
Well,
this and
that's what I
that.
was going to just say to you.
Whatever.
I
That's
was
no
just going to say
different.
that to you because in 2023, I went that route. I lost my job. This was a job that I got laid off of because they were losing money in the real estate market when they're billionaires. So regardless, whatever. I went because my brother, my half brother said, what are you doing? I was like, I don't want to go get unemployment and go get food stamps. Because this is what it does. When I got it, my depression went like, bam, went so darn deep because you know what it is? The reason why they gave that to you is not because it was to help you, it was to help them try to see if they could pay you off. You realize that any government help is to make you think that you can't do it for yourself. That's what government help is. Now, is it there for the people that need it, but for the people that can literally get out and do it? Do you know that when the pandemic happened, people were not going back to work because they were getting paid more money, unemployment and food stamps? They were getting this for the full 4 years or 3 years until they got like hit to it.
Uh,
They got hip to
and
it.
the thing is, that's definitely make sure we use some people, not all people, because some people
No,
went back to
I
work.
stereotype
Some
things in
people,
because I
right.
believe that the government is the one that is like, handling all this.
But those
You know,
programs was definitely in place way before a pandemic came this way.
of
So
course they were.
yeah,
The
yeah,
COVID
yeah,
was they knew
right.
they had COVID already splicing everything in the
But my whole
70s.
thing is those programs were still in place. So
Of course they are.
those, yeah. So and the thing is, it's good. It's good to have something that might help you stay afloat in a sense until and you should strive to be better or better yourself. Like if I had to use it, and I had to use the food stamps or whatever. But my goal is not to stay on it. My goal is not to stay there forever. My goal is
Right.
okay.
Well, that's the goal already.
This
And you
gets
can't
me
stay
to
on
a
it.
this. But I mean, there's people there's like professionals that's what they
No,
do.
that's
That's
what
their
I'm
job.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The
But
difference is the means test. People, and I see these people that are mean tests, and they have Cadillacs, they have nice houses. There's no way they should be able to get this.
But it's who's check. It's the checks and the balances that go with that. But
Mm.
it's just the fact that you still got the person. So you get a person and you can say, well, you don't need it, but you don't know the whole situation. You don't know
Of
everything
course
that's
not.
going on with them, and because of that, it's hard to say what you do and don't need because you don't know the whole situation. you only know what you see, and if, like you say, if I sat there and talked with you, they're like, oh man, if it was a way I could help you, I'm gonna help you. That's no different than someone coming on here, and I know it, and we've seen those channels, and they ask for donations to get an operation, or it's like, so you came on here and you went 100% asking and got thousands and thousands of dollars to get an operation. And it's like, okay, so you come on here and you're, I call it begging. You're begging
Yeah.
people to help you get to a point,
Right.
because what you needed wasn't life threatening. It was a
No.
cosmetic situation that you wanted
Right.
done, and you
Right.
got your funding through the donations
Scamming.
of people in here. But you could call it scamming, or it's like, it's no different than that person standing on the corner. So
Yeah.
you're mad at them because I came on. Look how
No, I'm
many
not mad at them. I'm not mad at
no.
them. I just prefer not to feed into their not
But see,
helping
but
themselves.
that's the 100% the blessing to all of this. You don't have to,
That's
Right.
right.
No, I
because
know. I know.
that person is standing out there, and if you drive by or walk by and don't give them one penny, that's your
They're
prerogative.
still there. They're still there.
That's right there, and the next
Right.
person might. So
Right.
I
I
know
see it all the time.
when I walk in a store, and I see a person at the front door of the store, and I walk in and they like, hey, you got something? Like, nope. And I say, I'll see what I got when I come out, because I don't know when I come out if I'm gonna have anything left.
Right.
Because what I'm gonna take care of first is me and mine. And if
Of
there
course.
is anything left, I might put it in there. But that's no different than when you get to the register and they say, do you want to round up? Or
Right.
that's your choice. If you
Well,
round up, and where's it going?
you
But
know,
Right.
you have you ever received a letter? You ever received a letter one day from like the fraternal order of the police or whatever, right?
Oh
And they
yeah.
say
The
donate, and it's
PAL or
going.
something like that.
Yeah, but do it go to the police department? Do it go to your local police department? Do it go to
No,
the local?
not at
well,
all.
But how many
I don't
people
ever get
donate
to
to that?
it.
it's
That's
like
right.
But that
Yeah.
pity party's there.
you
What
know,
do you have to say, Guy?
I volunteer at the mission in Bland County, Virginia, and I'm sent out to people's homes through the church as a blessing for them people to go get material lists, to get things together so that I can then give that to a person that sends a crew out there to give these people a blessing. Now, if I took my personal feelings, which surely is not how Jesus would feel,
I understand that.
if I took my personal feelings on every stop that I went to make, only about 50% of the people would actually get the blessing gift because, in
Mhm.
my opinion, they may not deserve it. But then where am I to judge that? My blessing is to come help
I'm
get
not.
the material together, get the list together, give that to the next person who is then going to bestow that gift of a crew to come out and do the job.
I'm not judging
So
them
this
blindly.
is but you're what I'm not, I'm trying to finish my point,
Okay.
but what I'm trying to tell you is that in the midst of trying to make a point, this is the biggest issue is I can't take my personal feelings into consideration if I truly believe that I'm giving a blessing gift. I have to say it was put on my heart as a blessing gift, and now I'm to give this, and now it's on that person. And now God's going to give me my blessing, regardless of the ignorance that they may do with that. That's never on me no more after that. And that is how I have to carry forward. I can't go at everybody thinking, well, do they deserve it or where are they going? I have to help my sister in law, my wife, and I, who don't make a lot of money. There's lots of times that we have to help our own family, knowing full well that they did some old dumb stuff and probably blew through their money. But am I going to let them go without power? No. Am I going to let them go without food? No. I'm going to do what I can to get it for them, even though I feel like they really, truly don't deserve it. But you know what? That's just me trying to be as close to Jesus as what I ever could be. Uh, that is the best that we can do. We can't play the game of all the time trying to decipher whether every little thing that we do for somebody or as a offering to someone is truly going to be for what we wished it could be for. That's not, then it's never a blessing gift then. If it's only used for what we think it should be used for, we give it and then we leave it, and that's it. And then that person does what they do, and then after that, you're free of it. And I say me talking about
Right.
me, I'm
No,
free
I
of it.
understand.
Then,
I understand. I
But
totally
that's
understand.
just how I feel about it, though.
That's
That's
Absolutely.
just how I feel about it.
I appreciate that guy and both of y'all. I appreciate both of y'all conversations. So
Yeah,
I
this
don't
is
think I think
great.
we're but like on my license, Todd, on my license, it says I'm an organ donor, right?
Right.
So if something was to happen to me in at this age, you better donate it to science fiction. I hope nobody taking
Right.
these parts now because they all.
Right. They
But
don't. Those
anyway,
parts right
but
now are like the
but
like.
Yeah.
But
If you
put the
get one
things
of
in
my
no.
science
kidneys,
fiction
But
or
check
whatever.
this out. But
if you
check this
get one of
out.
my kidneys, you may get a buzz from
Yeah,
some
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
I drank years ago.
But my thing
Well,
is, it's not saying that I have to worry about who gets it. I'm not
That's
worrying about who gets it or whatever. If they can harvest these parts and someone it's going to save somebody or whatever. But it's not like it has to go to this or it has to go to that. It doesn't say that. It just says I'm a donor. So
right.
when I donate it, I just donate it. It's over. It's
So
gone.
let me
I
ask you
don't think
something.
about it. It's
So I
a,
believe in God too. This like you guys are
mm,
representing God. I
mm.
believe that God is telling me not to give to the people that are not worthy. What I
then
mean by that is these are the people that are
that's
going to be Babylonians.
100. No.
Babylonians.
yeah.
No,
But
realize this.
you're not wrong with that.
I
That's
agree.
I know
100%.
I'm not wrong with that. I know that I'm not wrong with that. But I'm being told by other people's opinions that it almost sounds like your opinion is to give to anybody, and it's like you want to be closest to
No,
Jesus. I want to
no,
find Jesus. And if what
no.
what
See,
other people are seeing is like to give to everybody, like God already told us that there's people out there that are going to deceive us. The devil
that's
deceives
Mhm.
us all the time.
that's indeed a stretch with what I say because I give to very few.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That's so
if
what I
I
was saying
can,
is that you're
then I
doing the
do.
right thing because you're doing it with like the church is not going to let you go give to some people that are not worthy. It's not that you are the final you're not the final word,
But
are you?
that's not always true though, because the
That's
thing
not
is
all. That's what I'm
when
saying.
you go out you're saying we're going out to a neighborhood and we're going to feed. There's been many of people that show up to the line to collect a
Right?
box
That
of
don't
food
deserve
or
it,
whatever
right?
that
And they
that
don't
have
deserve it.
food at home. They have food at home, but
Right.
it's like and you're taking away.
I
But then
see it
that's
all the time.
more that's more going back to letting your conscience be your guide, and that's something that you have to deal with that conviction of knowing that you shouldn't have got that and you don't deserve it. It's no different than if you went to an ATM machine and you put your card in, well, ATM, it's the ATM machine, the M is the
Right.
machine, but you put your
Right.
card in, you put the button
AT machine.
and you say $20 and 60 come out. Now you can say that, well, that's a blessing. No, really, something was wrong. I put 20
Right.
and 60 came out.
And the
That
camera
is not
saw
a
and the
blessing.
camera
That
saw
is
you.
not a
It's not a
blessing.
blessing. Right.
It's not a blessing.
It's a
So
test.
but exactly. So
It's a
and
test.
sometimes, and I know it's in the chat that one, and I think that Miles put it in there. The scripture that goes with that. You don't know who the stranger is that you're entertaining. So sometimes it's an angel unaware. You didn't even know that was an angel, and all you had to do was just do your part and give, and you would have received so much extra blessing from God because you just did your part. It is not for us to try to figure out who's supposed to get it, who's not to get it, because it's definitely way bigger than us. It's way bigger than us. You don't know who you just saved by giving that. But that person could have been on the edge of getting ready to kill themselves because they have lost all hope in humanity. And then all of a sudden you come around and give them a $5 bill and show that at least one person cares enough to
You know, I
give.
give that in a different way. You know, I do that in a different way. I talk to them. I don't give them the $5 right away. I talk to them to find out how they are, to ask them what's going on. I try to find out their mental health and I get conversations with them. So I make sure that I don't just give them $5 to make sure that the things are going to change. I find out what can I change more? How can I, like, if they are in a really bad health situation and I know somebody that could help them, I want to try to introduce them. I want to go further than what people think is right. So to me, God is telling me, just to me, that hey, dive into the what ifs because you're going to find something different. You're going to find the person and the people that are really needing it. Because when you find the person that's going to get agitated at you because you're asking these questions. So listen, so this is what I have to say. There was a guy that I met, and I'm the one who provoked it. So I said hello to this guy at the park. He was very like he was skinny and he was like skinny like me. He was looking straight at the sun. The sun was beaming straight at him, and it was hot as f out there. Okay, This was last year. And I waved at him after passing his path, like his eye path, like twice. And this was probably in a half an hour period. I waved at him. He waved back at me. So I went to go walk up to him. And I said, excuse me, before I walked up to him, I was about 50 feet, 40 feet away. I said, excuse me, sir, is it okay if I continue? And he's like, you know, and I walked a little closer because I thought he didn't hear me. And before I entered the pavilion, which was on the other side of him, so you're looking about 20 feet away, I said, sir, is it okay if I come in there? He's like, yeah, but I don't know why the F you want to come over and talk to me. Like, what am I? And I'm like, you're a person. He's like, no, I know that. Jesus tells me that, you know? I'm like, you know, I just wanted to talk to you and see if there was anything that I could maybe help you out with, like do anything for you. So I do this in another way. And so he said, the only person that helps me is Jesus. And I don't know why the F you're talking to me, because I'm usually invisible to everybody. I'm like, well, you're not invisible to me. And do you think that Jesus is putting me in your path because of this? She's like, I don't want to think that. I'm like, okay, cool. So I left the comment the way that it was, but he was an individual that brought Christ right into it. He says, Christ is going to save you. And yet he wasn't understanding that I was there to help him and Christ was helping him. You see, there's a saying that basically goes like this. It's not really a saying, it's a story. There's a guy swimming out in the ocean and he swims out. He's an Olympic swimmer, let's say. He swims out and he now gets to the point where he can't see land back. So he's like, you know, okay, he starts swimming towards what he thinks is land. But, you know, you can't, if you don't see land in the ocean, you could be swimming anywhere. So if you don't have line of sight to land, you could be dead. So this guy goes and swims and he's asking for God. He's like, he starts getting a little tired. He's like, God, will you please show me a sign? Come down and save me, you know, because he's lost. So a little while later, a boat passes by him and the boat's like, goes up to him. He's like, hey, you know, we're here to help you. And the guy's like, no, don't worry about it. God's going to come down and save me. I've already talked to God, you know, da-da-da. He's like, what? We're here to help you right now, sir. He's like, no, don't worry about it. God's going to come. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much for your help. And he lets him go. And they go and they're like, okay. And so he's paddling out there a little bit longer. And he's like, now he's starting to get like to the point where he's getting really tired doing a doggy paddle. He's out there for a while. He's really tired. And another thing happens. A helicopter passes by. Okay. They send down the basket. And he's like, no, don't worry. He pushes it back. And they're like, what? You're swimming out in the middle of the ocean. There's no land. Like, so he's pushing it back. And so the next thing that happens is that the helicopter goes away and whatever. So the guy's still paddling some more and he's asking God for help. And so he doesn't realize it, but he starts sinking. Okay. And when he comes to, he's sitting next to God. And he's like, I knew you were going to come and save me. And God looks at him and goes, what? Save you? I sent you a boat and I sent you a helicopter and you sent them away. So we need to look at the signs before we go and give the signs. I need to be there available to talk to these people because of the shit that I've been in. I'm not saying anybody needs to do this. I don't have anything to risk. Guy has a family. You have a family. So you can't really look at it the same way that I'm willing to look at it because I don't have anybody to risk but myself. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason I do what I do. And I talk about the things the intensity that I bring. Because if something happens to me, it's just to me. Nobody's losing anything, but they're losing me. That's it. I'm not losing anything either. I'm not hurting anybody. I might hurt people in the sense that they don't get to see me, but it's my choice to not, to go that extra step.
Right. So as happy as you are with that choice, why not just be as happy with everybody's choice in the same?
I am happy with everybody's choice. I just
know?
want to talk about the choice. You think that I was unhappy with your choice?
Because
you think
I just heard you mention that about somebody asking about the what ifs, and that was me, and I just was addressing you on that. I think that we have the option of either or.
Right.
And if you're happy with your decision, whether to be either or,
right,
and someone else is happy with their decision, whether to be either or, then why does it have to have so many other what ifs?
It doesn't have it for you. It doesn't
have
it for you. This is my thing. It's happening to me. It's not happening to you. How's it happening to you, guys?
What I'm saying is,
what you're saying is that what I'm saying.
When you're asking a question and I'm answering it to you, it's not out of agitation. It's out of trying to say that's how I have to approach it in my life. Is when I'm sent out to go and try to do what is called volunteer work, then I can't look at it from the angle of whether they deserve it or not, because there's a lot of times in my They
I
don't.
want to come in. I want to come in 1 second. Because I mean, I definitely don't want this to make a left turn, right turn.
No, it
And
won't.
I
It will
don't
not
think
make
it's
a
going
left
to.
turn.
Oh
I don't
no,
think
Guy
it's
and I,
going
was-
to.
Guy, you
No, no,
no.
no, no. And I don't think so. But I'm just saying.
okay?
So there was a story, and there's a story in the Bible for sure. Where I'm telling you a story in the Bible
Please,
where Jesus' disciples came up to him and said, "There's some people out there that's casting out devils in Jesus' name. Should we stop them?" Right? But there wasn't
right,
disciples of Jesus. They're not disciples of Jesus, but they're out
right,
there. And he said, "They're doing the same work we're doing. Why would you stop them?" So your way of doing it and God's way of doing it, it's
exactly.
the same work. So it, but
It's
it's just the same work.
right.
But
So
but but
and
I'm
your
not
your
sitting there offending it. I'm asking a question in the sense of this is what I do. This is what Guy does. We don't have to agree on it. Like he does it his
one
way, I do it my way.
one
There's
hundred
no
percent,
I
yeah.
argument
think I
there.
do it,
So
but I think when I'm coming at it from a personal standpoint, I guess talking about it from a standpoint of somebody that goes and volunteers for an entity, I have to do it from that standpoint. From a
mm,
personal standpoint, when you're talking about like, I did grow up right outside of Baltimore, and I actually commuted in and out on a daily basis for about 4 years going to work, and I passed the same people for a lot of years on the same corner doing the same thing, and there was some that I drove by, and there was some that I purposely stopped, and I wanted to help them out because they were good. They seemed like nice people. Did I think they always did the right thing with the money? No, probably not.
mm,
But I just felt like they were good people inside, and they just had a good
Did you
way
ever talk
about
to
them.
them? Did you ever
Oh,
walk?
well, I mean, when you're from the angle I'm talking about, you're sitting there waiting to go through a light because you're
Right.
headed to work, and you get a 30
Right.
second interaction with them.
So
That's how
I
much
choose.
time you have to choose whether you want to give them the $2 to wash your window off or not give them the $2, or whatever. So it's like, I have to try to separate it in my mind of like, okay, like Big Jack was saying, Bill was saying, okay, if I have $2 in my pocket and I can still buy myself lunch and I feel good about giving it to them, well, as long as I can still buy myself lunch and be able to get through the day and be able to get my work day over with, well, it didn't hurt me none. Here's
mm,
$2. Don't go buy a bottle of wine with it, please. And if they do, then that's on them, whatever.
mm,
And I'm like, I wish they'd have
Good luck
bought a
getting a
Big
bottle
Mac.
of wine for $2.
Well, I mean, this was also back in like I
yeah.
hate to say it, in the late '80s, early
Mhm.
'90s.
Oh no,
So,
no, MD
you know,
2020 or whatever it was, Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah.
That stuff was the
oh
cheapest,
And
man.
the
God,
thing is, I
look,
mean, it's the thing. And you're right, both of y'all. I mean, neither one, no one's right or wrong
There's no right or wrong.
on
I
this
no,
just choose to
subject.
talk to them
Yeah.
personally. You choose that it's okay to get, but you also go out and you do the actual talking too right now. So
Mhm.
maybe you thought that back then it was okay to give to people that because they were, you saw them every day. Now
Yeah.
it's like you don't see those types of people. Now you say, okay, I don't have to give to those people because they're not in my way. Like
well,
I
I mean,
understand that you were helping them.
I live in one of the poorest parts in the world,
Understood.
and I mean, I have neighbors
World,
that I can
world.
give to, and I know that they might not always do the right thing, but I also know that they're still darn good people and been real good to me. So it's like, well, if
Don't pick
if
on
they
that
come
word.
to the food mission and they want a box of food, they get a
No,
box of
that's
food too.
different. That's different because you're with
Yeah,
God. You're
yeah,
like these people. Okay, so I understand that like what Bill was saying before that there's people that come to these all these different things. I mean, you saw it since New Jack City. It's been happening for years and decades. I mean, all the way down in the 60s and 70s. Let's go buy the rich person that's a drug dealer goes and buys a bunch of
mm,
stuff and then a bunch of people feed off it. Not saying that this is what happens, but the same thing happens with church.
mm,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get enough money. You see the football players, they get enough money to go and grant it to a poor bunch of families. But if you go and listen to Nemo, it was interesting. He was going to do a donation that was going to be around the time that what was it? Easter comes. And so what he had to come to the mind of is like, how am I going to choose five families? Like five deserving families, like choose five families over five other families. Like, how's he going to do that?
Mhm.
So he's like, let me go give to a place that maybe an organization that can do that for me
mm,
you know
mm,
so everybody's thinking about ways so if I go and I say let me go talk to somebody, that's the way that I can say okay I can get because I don't have money, I don't have a lot of money, so for me I want to see if there's a relationship possible. If there's
right.
a relationship possible, I'm not saying that I'm going to get to be their friend, but I can get to know them in a short period of time. You see what happens here. I've
Mm,
been able to translate what happens here, the energy that I have here, bring that out into the public.
Yeah.
Literally, the people
And
that I meet in the public has been much higher rated as communication back to me when I say hello to them because of my energy.
Mm.
You know, that's just what's helping me. It's the only thing that's helping me. I love what everybody else does. It's helping them. You know, I'm not saying anything about you, Guy. I'm not saying anything about you, Bill. I'm saying that this is the way I do it. And if I came across as like I'm trying to change
Well, I
you,
mean, you can't. I mean, it was just the way for me. It was like
so
I
so
hear
you're judging
exactly
it. You're
what you're.
judging what you
I
sort of
hear exactly how you were saying it, and I was like, I am trying to answer it in the most honest way from my perspective as I can, because I see there's times I choose not to give as well, because I'm like, man, there ain't no way I'm giving that person. I ain't giving them. I ain't doing that. But then there's also times where I probably do help people out that probably really don't deserve it, to be honest with you, and I know they don't. But it's like, man, I'm going to
well,
do it.
just
hey,
like Bill
I'm
was
going to
saying,
help
think
you.
about
You know.
just like Bill was saying, look, do you have to go, Bill? It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
no, yeah, it's three for everybody, but I understand that.
Yeah,
But check it out. They and I wanted to share it. So remember, I don't know
please.
if you I'm thinking of the story real quick of Jesus healing the 10 lepers.
Yeah.
You remember that? So he
Mhm.
healed 10 lepers. So there was 10 people with leprosy. He was walking through and they came up and he healed them. He healed all 10
Okay.
and told them, to go and tell the priest and show the priest. Okay. Only one of the 10 came back and said, thank you. Only one. And Jesus questioned that one, where's the other nine? Wasn't it 10 of y'all? Where they at? And the only one that came back was the Samaritan, the one who probably couldn't go tell the priest, the one who couldn't. So it's not that the healing, he didn't take the healing back. It's just the fact that I recognize that you didn't do what you were supposed to do with it. And
Yeah.
but it's not about me to say, should you be healed or should I take it back or whatever. It's all about I gave you a blessing,
Yeah.
and what you did with that blessing is on you. And should you say thank you? Should you acknowledge the fact that I blessed you and it healed you? Yeah, you should. And what I'm saying is, should you do the right thing? Because that's how you acknowledge me for the opportunity that I gave you. If
Yeah.
I gave you enough money to feed your family and you didn't feed your family, shame on you. But that happens every 2 weeks for me where I go and they give me a paycheck. If I don't pay my bills and keep a roof over my head and food on my table and clothes on the backs and all of that that comes with the job that I put in, shame on me, because it wasn't that the company didn't give me the money or
Mm.
give me my paycheck. Yes, I worked for it, but whatever you did and you didn't do what you were supposed to do with it, you're going to still be hungry. You're still going to be homeless. You're
Oh,
still, and if you
yeah.
did collect enough to get you out of that situation, but you chose to put it somewhere else and do something else with it, that it didn't change the other situations that was out there, because we
Let,
make an honest choice. Like you said, you all January you were saying you had to find a place and you had to make a move and all that. But had you not done that, that
oh,
would have been
dude,
a choice that you
Yeah.
right,
go ahead.
horrible choice.
100%.
Well,
Yeah.
let
But
me
that's
ask
the
this
choices.
question.
That's the choices you make from the opportunities or the blessings that you're given. You make the choice to say, "I'm gonna do the right thing with it," or "I'm not gonna do the right thing with it." And I don't believe in a person if, like, the Bible tells us to pay a tithe. 10% of your increase and this and
Right.
that.
Okay. So that's
But
okay. In the Jewish
but
religion, it's up to 20.
but
Right.
but if it's going to stop me from paying my rent,
Right.
I'm not
It's what
giving
you
you
can
10.
give, not yeah.
100%. So I've been in situations where people want to see your paycheck, they want to see your pay stub. That's the wrong place for me. I'm leaving that church. You're not going
No,
to get
Yeah.
all that my tax
no,
information and
Right.
all that. That's not, because it's up to my heart and it's up to me to give, and it's a deal between me and God on how we going to rectify this. If I'm really robbing God, I rob God. You're not
Wait
going
a
to come to
second.
me as a church
So
and say
God
I
does
robbed
not
you.
tell me. God does never has told me that I'm robbing him by not donating to people that I feel that are not deserving. Like
No, 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 no,
I'm
no. But the
okay.
scriptures say that, and people use that as a way to convict you for not doing that part.
no.
Right. I understand. The
Because it
Jewish
said,
people do it all
you
the
know,
time during Rosh Hashanah.
but the thing is, again, it's one of those things where, it's a personal relationship. Just like you ask a person, here's a question for you. Name one person you know is saved, that
Is
has a
saved.
personal relationship, did everything they could do with Jesus Christ, confessing, believing, and they're saved.
Lady Meg that introduced me to the church,
Yeah. Do you
and
know that?
Joe, and
Do you
Joe.
know that? Do you
I'm
know
pretty
that?
sure. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
no, no.
Nah, I'm pretty
You,
sure.
the only person that you would know is yourself.
Nah.
Everything else
You
is
know
what you.
why? Well, okay, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm,
I understand exactly what you're saying. But
mm-hmm,
because I understand what it's flowing through me, I get to see that in other people's the qualities. Now, do
mm-hmm,
I know for a fact? No, I see the
100%.
qualities of patience. See, the first thing is patience. God will have patience with you unless you do not be grateful. If you're not grateful, that's the reason why Jesus did that. Other people, you're looking at it like, so I don't know Jesus. I don't talk about Jesus. I'm learning about Jesus. So the story that I got out of what you said about the 10 people going, and then what were those, the
Mm-hmm.
leopards that
The
had to go?
leopards.
So imagine this. You had 9 people that out of the 10 that went and talked to the priest, and
Mm-hmm.
they understood this is the act of being grateful. This is gratitude. Okay, thank you so much. But the one said, I need to go back to Jesus to let him know that I am so grateful, when I'm not grateful because I didn't listen to him. Instead of seeing it from the pack that the 9 people listen, you're telling me the side of the story. And I understand you might be viewing it the same way, but you're telling me the story of the fact that the one person, was asked the question by Jesus, when Jesus was really thinking, amazing, 9 people out of 10 listen to me. Not just the one person I asked the questions to, because that's a story that's being told to everybody. Instead of the interpretation from somebody that's never heard it before, that just heard it for the first, no, maybe the third time, something like this. And I'm going, wait a second. I'm so grateful that he understood that it was 9 people that were saved. 9 people listened to what he said, understood that they were grateful for what he offered because they understood that it had leprosy. You see what I'm saying? I'm grateful for every single thing that I'm grateful for this conversation. I'm grateful that Guy was able to stand his ground with me. I'm grateful that everybody said what they said, even if it's not a comfortable situation. I'm grateful that I could bring this out in people because this is what I feel is a necessity in our society. This is what's been pushed under the rug. We have emotions about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not pulling this out to go and get people mad. I'm letting people know that this is something we should be able to talk about now, naturally.
Well,
No,
sure,
100%.
sure. I agree with
I'm
that.
not
I
trying to
agree
make
with that.
anybody upset.
But
There's
I
people that are
also
getting
agree
upset.
that well, it's because the reason why I think that you take conviction as someone getting upset is because truly, in order to be able to get into the conversation, you have to strike with conviction. And you have to say, look, this is how I stand on it. Whether it be right or wrong, I don't 100,000% know that, but it feels okay for me in the way that I go about making it.
Right.
And
But
that's
why
the
do you feel
best
that you need to
stance that
strike
I can
back at me?
take.
Why do you think you need to strike back at me? Like, why can't you just
Oh,
accept what I'm talking about instead of striking back at me? I'm not asking you to believe what I'm saying. I'm asking what
no,
you
I
do.
think you man, maybe I
I'm
just,
asking you a question.
maybe I don't talk right. I don't know. But I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
have to
I know
speak
you're
up.
being sincere. I know you're being sincere. I'm just
You
wondering
just
why
cut
does
me
it.
off again, Todd, is what I'm
No.
saying. You have to have conviction to get into the conversation to say something. And that's why maybe you think that someone is aggravated. I'm not aggravated at all because I love to talk about it. And I actually have pretty good knowledge of the situation. But I'm just saying, in order to get into the conversation, you do have to speak up a little bit so that you can hear and everybody else can hear. And having the opportunity to speak, where that you can say what's on your mind and finish your point. That's where I was having a struggle, was like, Todd, I'm just trying to say, I can keep throwing ifs at everything you say. You could keep throwing ifs at everything I say, but in the whole situation, what you're saying is correct and what I'm saying is correct, because you can choose to not give and give of your time, like I give of my time to the church. I go and volunteer with what I know how to do as a profession, and I do it for free so that I can send some help out to the community that don't cost nothing. You spend your time when you see fit to speak with people and to extend that type of help. That's still the same equal help because you're giving of yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe Bill does what he does to help with folks, and it's as equal as what any of the rest of us do, and it's as good as what any of the rest of us do. So it's really, for me, I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm like, well, I have a piece of that in me. I hear what Bill says, and I'm like, well, I have a piece of that in me too. And then I'm like, well, really, we're all saying the same
Same thing.
It's kind of
Just
like
a
you're all
different
saying the
way.
same
Just a
thing. You're
different
just
way.
And
seeing
and
you're seeing your help different than what my help or his. But I'm seeing help is like, okay, if Todd feels his way of helping is to sit and speak with someone, then praise God, that's a good thing. If I see my help is going and volunteering at the church and giving them my time, well, praise God. If I see Bill giving of his money that he might have to be able to help some, well,
oh, he's
praise
giving
God.
more than money. He's giving more than money.
Well, I mean, what
Yeah,
I'm
no, but
trying
I'm
to,
saying we all give more of ourselves. You're right. We
you're,
give more
Right.
than ourselves.
it's just, and it's,
And it's based off, and Guy, you right there, and Todd, you right there too. But it's based off of what you have at that opportunity. I
yeah,
have, if I
yeah,
had the
Oh yeah.
time, if I had the time, I would sit there and talk with you. But like you
yes,
said, if I'm sitting at a traffic light with 30 seconds, here you go, and that's it.
yeah,
That was all I could
No,
do
I
at that
get it.
moment.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get
So
it. I get it
because
totally.
I'm gonna tell you this quick story, and it's Big Jack story time. So this is my story time. So when
Please.
I was stationed in Korea. So I'm in Korea, and it's a solo tour, so that means I had to go for a year. So you're there for a year with no family. You don't get to take your family. So
Really?
that's a solo tour there. So I'm in the army. I'm in Korea. I went to a church in Korea so it was a Korean church called Yoido. It is the world largest full gospel church. The
oh,
world's largest full gospel church is in South Korea, Yoido. Okay. When I went in this church, they put us in the foreign section. So you hear like Dapper and them would say, we're the foreigners because we're in Korea. So they gave us headsets so we can understand what's being said. So they had the headsets, so everything was translated for us. But when they did offering, they did the tithes and offering. There were people putting bags and bags and bags of rice in these shelves, in these like cabinets. And then people were coming by and they were taking rice. So it wasn't about money. It was about you giving of what you had, and people was in need was coming and taking. And I was blown away because I had never seen it like that. Because in the U.S., normally all you see is money go on a plate,
yeah,
and you
Right.
don't even see
Mm.
what they do with it because they take it in the back, and you're like, who did we help with? But I'm seeing these people come in and actually walk out with
How do you think
food
they
to
do
go
that?
feed their family,
How
and
do you
I'm
think they
like,
do that?
I mean, they because people they were farmers, people that was actually rice farmers. They were giving instead of giving up their money, they were giving up
uh,
10% or
Right.
whatever of their
So
crop,
what?
and the
So
people that
what?
was in need, the
So
people that was in need was coming. Go ahead, go ahead.
this is what I express from my experience is that when I talk to someone, I believe that I can get what's inside their mental health issue, and then I
Mm,
can find out if they need that bag of rice. And then I
mm,
can go buy it for them. You
mm,
see what I mean? I do a lot of this when I'm at the when I'm at the grocery store. So that's the reason why I'm right
mm,
there around food. That's why I'm thinking about it in that way. If I go to a grocery store, I at least talk to 5 people that are strangers that I've never met. I say hello, how
mm,
you doing? If they respond, and usually they do. Like literally, my track record since I thought that I was getting every month, like I was doing like 10 or 20 people, like 10 people a month. I get maybe one or maybe 2 people that would respond back to me, but nothing long. I'm
mm,
getting conversations now that I sort of like this is a good thing that I'd bring on maybe YouTube. Like I
mm,
could put a story together, and I've talked about some of these stories
mm,
when I go. So for me, this is just like what I'm on here for, like what I do on here. It's about the gathering. It's about getting. I don't care what people are watching me. I care that people are gathering together and supporting
mm,
each other. You know, like I want everybody to be joining together. At the same time, I want everybody to recognize that we are all joining together. We can't just give this away for free. Like, so I don't want everybody to think that what I'm offering right now is something that I've been given for free. I had to work for Roxy. I had to
mm,
work. I had to show my loyalty to them for like 2 months almost.
mm.
So I wouldn't want to bring people over there that's going to go be like, oh yeah, can you like people are going over there sometimes and really not treating it with the respect that I expect. I do
Right,
expect a
right.
certain respect,
Well, man,
you
and
know?
but that goes back to that story of, like you said,
Right.
I
You're
look
right.
at
You're
it as
right.
the 9 people that went to the priest. That we don't even know if they got there because he told
Right.
them to go, so we don't know if
Right.
they got there.
You're
And
right.
the person that turned around and said thank you still could have went to the priest. But I'm just saying the part of is being grateful for the original gift and
Right.
then doing what you're supposed to do. So so when you get there, it's like okay. And I'm looking at because I can, and it's a lot of stuff down in the chat, so I don't want to take away
Oof.
from what Miles been
Man, okay.
saying.
I'm so sorry. I did
Boogie
not
times
pay.
down there,
I'm so
and it's
sorry, everybody.
no. But remember, we talked about this before. When you have guests on here and you're having a conversation, it's really hard to get down in the chat. And I was trying, and I was watching it, but
Oh
they were
man, I
making
missed
good
so
points.
much.
It's
They were
so
making
much.
great
It's
points. I
so
see
much
it right
down
now.
in
Start
there.
here, Kashmir was here.
Yeah, it's so much down there,
Man,
but it's a good
man.
conversation.
Yeah, good
It's real
Are you
conversation.
talk.
able to print this out? Are you able to get this printed out with that software? Are you able to at least get it like not a printout, but at least a record of this whole thing,
Yeah,
this whole
yeah, 100%.
conversation?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. If there's anything
yeah.
important, then will you let me know, please?
Oh yeah,
Maybe let Guy
definitely.
know
Yeah,
too, because we were the ones that were conversing. If I need to answer
yeah.
something back or they ask
No,
one of us a
no.
question, I'd like to.
Uh,
Thank you.
It says,
And what is that blue little thing
and
over in?
Miles was
Oh,
saying,
that's
"Don't mind me, guys. I just see it as a side of chat." Yeah, and as you say, I don't want to disrespect anybody that was in here. Y'all been sitting in here and very faithful and listening to this. You at any one of the times y'all could have came in the conversation, but
yeah.
you
You know
know,
that's out there, right? Like because I
yeah,
can, you could
yeah,
have come on.
y'all could have came in. So,
Yeah.
but I want to. I'm gonna thank y'all because I'm gonna definitely get off here because
No, I know
it's
it's 3:30 right now or
3:16 in the
Yeah.
3:15.
morning.
You're
Well,
But
right.
yeah,
Please.
but I want to thank y'all because part of this is it's real talk and we're having a real conversation. The other part is because it stayed cordial to a point. You got your points across, but we can all leave this place again. That was, my whole thing is iron sharpening iron. So we're all about making each other stronger, making each other,
that's right.
um, so it's not my
I
way
love my
or your
brother, man.
way.
He loves
Yeah,
me.
that's
We've
it.
Yeah.
It's not my
we've
way or your
communicated.
way.
We've
So
communicated outside of here, Bill.
Yeah, we
right.
And so
communicate personally, so
right.
Oh no,
we
no, no, no. And
And
I understand that.
he's like
So
been like, what? So me and
yeah.
him have a good sort. So I understand where he's coming from. So
yeah, yeah.
he's not jumping at me. He's just saying
Oh,
I need to
and I
make my
understand
point
that.
across. Right. Okay. So I
Yeah.
accept that because I like that. I'm at fault because I pull that out of people, but I want to pull that because that's the real talk you're talking about.
Yep, and that's what it
You know.
is.
And if
And
we can do that with the
it could be so
masses,
many different angles, and because we do come at in different ways or
right?
different situations or different experiences, we're all going to have something that we're going to bring. You asking me about how I feel about this, but I look at it as I'm an African American male and da da da, and this is what I go through, and this is what my kids go through, and this is my grandparents went through, and this so I look at it totally different. And I'm not saying anybody, but we all have different situations. We walk different paths.
Right.
And because you can bring your perspective to the table, it helps me. When you said that, Todd, about the other nine going and do, I'm like, you know what? I did look at that, and I have looked at it that way before, but I
Right.
never really, when you said it, I'm like, okay, so the one person who
Am I
stayed,
wrong for thinking that nine people could have done good and maybe one?
no,
So
no,
if
no, no,
I'm
no,
not,
no,
I'm
no,
just saying because
no.
my perspective is sometimes backwards. Like
But no, no,
literally,
no. And I'm not gonna say
okay.
you were wrong on it. It's not
No, no,
wrong
no. I
on it.
know none of us
The
are
the
wrong.
part that I didn't and wasn't able to deliver was the fact that the one who did come back could not have done the same walk as the other people because he was a Samaritan and he was not allowed to just go to the priest like that. So it's no different than saying he was black. So yeah, it was 10 people and they all had leprosy. I healed all 10, but 9 white guys went to the priest where the black guy wasn't allowed to go. So he couldn't have made that same walk and that same journey. He couldn't have done the same thing. But I'm gonna thank the person who actually healed me
Yeah.
instead of going,
Amen.
yeah. So it's just everyone doesn't have the same opportunity. Like you said, you talk to people and they got a lot of mental health and stuff. So you go and try to apply for a job when you can't even have a full conversation or
Right.
even get through an interview, you're not going to get the job. But I still
Right.
need to eat. I still need to feed my family. PTSD and things like that. I've seen people that really suffer from that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is terrible. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they still need to feed their family, to feed themselves. So it's
Yeah.
like, and you can say, well, somebody should be taking care of you, but again, we go back to the pride thing. I don't want anybody to take
I
care of
don't
me. I
want
want to
no.
take care of myself.
No,
That's
you're right.
And I want to, I want to put in my own labor. I want to do my own work. I want to get my own check,
Yeah.
and that's, and you might be in a situation where you're just not allowed or able to do those things anymore. Think about it.
2023, I wasn't till
Some
December
people
1st.
having a conviction on them being incarcerated and stuff like that, it stops a lot of things that you
It
might
does.
want to do in your life. It just changes your whole life.
It
And
And
does.
it
then there's
don't mean
people
that
that it hasn't changed. It's people
it
that it's
doesn't
changing for the
it
better.
but it doesn't mean that you did something that was so crazy that you should even did time, or did you do anything at all. Look at there's people that's been accused of crimes they didn't commit, but they got that charge,
It's on
and
there.
it changed their whole life on them. So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Kamala Harris.
we
He took
we
a
have
bunch of
to
people in
know,
California.
right? We have to know like you say, until you know the whole story, and that's why I used to think about name one person you know who's saved. The only person you know is you.
That's
Right,
it.
Everybody
that's true.
else,
No,
you
you're
can
right. You're
go
right.
off of
I learned on here.
what
I
you.
learned on here totally.
I'm saying
I
you can
learned a
go
lot
off.
more.
Think about it. Think about it. The person who betrayed Jesus was one of his disciples. It was one
Right.
of his disciples. So you can
That
say,
he knew
well,
so
yeah,
well.
right. He was right there with them. So, but
Right.
at the same time, it's it's you would think, well, if anybody, these 12 would be good, but no, one of them was.
So let me ask you, did he know for a fact that Jesus knew that the Samaritan could not have gone to the priest, and that's why he asked the question, that he knew that he was going to be lied to?
No, I don't think it was about a lie or anything. It was just the fact that when he
It's
gave
a
him the
parable.
mission, yeah, it's
It's a
a
parable.
parable. It's just him
Okay.
telling the story. But it's just the fact that when you look into the history of it and see why this person over all the other people. But the question came was, why didn't everybody come back? Where did they all
Right.
go?
Right.
Why did they all, why, yeah, I gave you a mission. So sometimes he
Right.
told people, don't tell nobody that I
Mm,
healed you. Don't
mm.
even tell nobody I gave you the blessing. He told people to do that. Don't go tell anybody. Don't
That's right.
tell anybody. He made the blind see and told him, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Made the lame to
Yeah.
walk and don't tell anybody. So it
That's right.
wasn't all about bragging
Well,
and not that we said that, but sometimes in the story he said, don't tell nobody I did this. So
mm,
Can you
it
give,
was just a fact.
that's
That
good.
here he's telling you to go tell, and then there's been times when he said don't tell. And then there was times he walked through and didn't heal anybody. And they're like,
Yeah.
why
right?
didn't because everybody don't get a healing. No different
That's
than
right.
everybody don't get my money.
That's right.
Everybody
Right.
don't get your
Right.
conversation.
I know
So
that, I know that, please.
no, go
No,
ahead, go ahead.
Jackson. No, no, I know that I kept hearing that guy was trying to get in. Were you saying
Oh,
Oh
he's
something?
no,
not
I was
showing up.
agreeing 100% with them.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that before I get off here, guys, one, this has been a wonderful conversation, and
Thank you, brother.
I obviously have my convictions that I
I know
live
I
by.
frustrate you. I know
And
I can frustrate you.
just so I'm usually just exactly what you see. Yeah, you do have to speak up when Brother Todd's in here in order to be able to get in. So, yeah, I
That's
apologize
okay.
for having to, but that's the way it has to
No,
be done. But
I
to
love you.
get back to my original point, you know, one of the verses that we hear in the Bible all the time, and it sometimes goes unnoticed, is faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidenced by things not seen.
Mhm.
And understanding that a lot of the stories that we read in the Bible and the things that we're taught in the Bible are parables, and they're meant so that they will twist to the next scripture, and they will send you on a journey through the Bible. And what I found in my journey in the Bible is that you know Jesus was the premier and ultimate blood sacrifice. And he was sent here for that very purpose. He was sent here for that reason. And with knowing that, and knowing that that was the ultimate sacrifice that was sent here and then was died on the cross for us and bled his blood for us. So every drip of blood that he bled saves me. And knowing that there's going to be things that I may not understand and that they may not always make sense, but just knowing that there was a power of such that would sacrifice, because he could have chose life. He could have chose life and just said, no, he chose to do what he did to save me and you and Bill and everybody. And you know, when we start to round this off, and I just think about the story of David. David in the Bible was a tough, ruthless man, if you were to read the story. But he was a man after God's own heart. So God sees things from all angles, and he sees it from your angle, Todd. He sees it from my angle. He
Right.
sees it from your angle, Bill. And he sees it from the angle you're talking about as the 10 people with leprosy. And he sees that angle, and I believe that. I believe
Both
that
angles.
wholeheartedly.
Mhm.
And just knowing that there is God did make all of it, and he does know all angles, and just trusting in that. And it's okay to question it. It's okay to question it, because I think in the questions you start to find different ways of looking at things, and maybe answers that maybe just having somebody that I can tell you I've read my Bible, but I can also tell you this: there's things I have to reread, and pray about and think about, and I don't understand it. Sometimes it's like, but just knowing that there's a, like, okay, maybe one day I'll get that revelation and then I'll have a hold of it, but knowing that maybe I may never. But my faith is still in such that Jesus died for our sins, and
Bill,
I'm
you need to
saved
go,
by
don't you,
that.
bro?
I'm saved
No,
by
no,
that blood.
I'm listening. I'm listening. No, and Guy, you're right. And so his, if I can add to that a little bit,
No, please,
Absolutely.
please.
only because with the Bible and to me, and this is my my belief and my understanding that the Bible is a living Bible. So it's constantly growing and it's moving. It's not just like when people say I read from in the beginning to amen.
So,
But you can't, because it's always growing and always moving. If
yep.
you're looking for love, you can go to John 3:16, for God so loved the world. But if you're
Yeah,
looking for peace, you can still go to that same verse and say, for
you
God
can.
so loved the world. And if
Yeah,
you're looking for understanding, you can go to that same verse, for God so loved the world. And it's
Understanding.
like so, and it's
And what is
all
your
right
word?
there. So
yeah,
but it's one of those things where you can get the same peace from that spot. So even
yes,
when
you
you
can.
talked about where people look at it and say, well, yeah, the Bible says, for faith is the the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Like, that's the definition. No, that's not the definition of faith. That's just describing what faith does. It's
Yeah,
very similar to you listening to a GPS in your car or whatever.
right.
As it's giving you directions and you start to see landscapes or whatever. So it's giving you
Yeah,
substance to things to hope for. I'm hoping to get to. So
yeah.
if I ask
By
Todd right
faith.
now, so if I ask God right now, and I'm gonna ask God, God, tell me how to get to your house. Okay, so God's gonna give me instructions to his house. And he's given me these instructions. So my faith is that God knows exactly how to get to his house. So he's giving me the substance that I'm looking for. The evidence is as I'm coming by and God say, and you're going to pass a Wawa, you're going to pass a grocery store. And as
Mm-hmm.
those things come to pass and I see those things, he's giving me substance and evidence. And I'm starting to see that God knows what he's talking about. But if
Mm-hmm.
I don't see those things come, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't see a
Did I make a
Wawa.
wrong
I don't
turn?
see. Then I start right. Did I make a wrong turn, or do God not know
Start
what he's
questioning.
talking about?
Yeah.
And I lose faith in
But
what
let me
he's
ask you
saying.
first. Can I ask one question? Do we
Mhm.
first go to Guy, or do we first in our head? I'm saying, because sometimes I go to thinking that the person did the wrong when I'm the one that let the conflict, the internal conflict, turn that wrong. You know what I mean? Like I get people thinking that I'm saying something, and it's true. I mean, listen, I only say what I believe. It happens all the time in public. People don't like me. My friends, they get annoyed because of the fact that I'm willing to say, you know something, if you don't know about the subject, why are you going to tell me that I don't know about the
Mhm.
subject? If you don't know about the subject, then you can be the ostrich if you didn't learn about it. But don't tell me I don't know about it, because that's offensive to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're telling me that don't know anything about the subject that I'm wrong? Give me a
Mm.
break. That's the
Yeah.
same thing that I'm telling you that you're wrong because you don't know nothing.
Mm.
When you know everything about what you're talking about, not
Mm.
me.
All right.
So I
Mm.
believe that everybody's experience is what. So 100 people have the same experience. It's all about the way that individuals get that
Yeah.
experience, the outcome for it. I have childhood trauma from it. You
Mm.
might not. You might have been like, hey, this was nothing for me.
Mm.
Guy might have been like, I thought about it. It was something, but I got over it. I haven't
Mm.
got over it,
Yeah.
bro.
Well,
You know what I
indeed,
mean?
indeed. Oh, I've spoken many times, man. Every morning when I get up, I have a fork in the road to deal with. Can I
Mhm.
start pondering on some old bull crap that I can't do nothing about, or can I just get my cup of coffee, enjoy my little dog getting up and being happy, and I like, it really does start that simple, because sometimes as a human, you start pondering on some crap that it's
Yeah.
like, man, I can't even do nothing about this stuff, and here I am worrying myself
You're worrying
about it,
about it. Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and,
Are you
and getting
grateful every
up.
day, all of you? Do you
Pardon
wake
me.
up being grateful? Like, even in that fork of the road, like when the change happens once you're grateful, right?
I tell you what, Todd. These days, after the life that I have lived through, some very bad decisions. Yes, I
We
do
all make
wake
them.
up sincerely grateful. I'm
Right.
grateful for my
Me too.
sobriety. I'm grateful for my wife, my child. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my mother and father. I'm grateful for the faith that I have, of knowing that I can still learn and still grow, and that I have an opportunity to wake up and be here. So
I'll do
yes,
one
I
on.
am grateful, but to say that I'm grateful and that I always am feeling the best inside, or that no, man, I'm a
I'll
human
let you know
being.
right now. Just the
A
last
human
thing, right?
being.
So yesterday was the first day in probably over a year and a half that I did not wake up saying my prayers. The
Right.
first day, this is a Friday. I'm sorry, it was a Friday yesterday. So the Friday was a Sabbath, and then it's Sunday. So Friday is when I woke up and I wasn't grateful for my prayers. So Friday when I woke up, I didn't say my prayers and I didn't read my parsha, which means that I didn't go into the Sabbath the proper way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've seen the outcome with that. I didn't mean to do that, but it's been like the moving and everything like that has got my hours off. So every bit of sleep I wanted to have, and then when I wake up, I'm like so thinking in the past, like that fork in the road is like taking me down the wrong fork. Even
Right.
though I'm here and I feel that I'm doing the right thing, I still need to tomorrow morning when I wake up do my thing, because then I'll be back on track again. And what is the best day to do it? Even though it's not really the best day, it's like sort of a like we were talking about before. It is a segregated day amongst everybody. The beliefs of just the difference in the religions. You know what I mean? Just the difference in the religions of Christianity. The different type, like the different levels of way my church
Yeah.
doesn't believe the same way that your church does.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I
but
mean, some of it, I'll be honest, some of it, I get confused with some of it. And I just take what I can take and absorb at the time. But there's
That's all you
also
can do.
things that over time, that maybe 25 years ago, that I just could not get a hold of. But now today, I'm like, okay, I see how that, I see what, like Bill was just saying, you're living and these things are happening, and then after they had, you look and you say, okay, well, God had me there. Yeah, okay, I didn't see it, but okay, yeah, that worked out.
Yeah,
That turned out
it sure
like a
did.
3-year prison sentence
amen.
for me. It was a blessing in the end, guys. It
No,
sucked
I
at
see
the
how you
time,
are. I see
but
how
now
you are.
looking back on it, I'm able to see how that God had my path all kind of
Are
like,
you in a
okay,
better? You seem like you're in a much better position than you would have been without that. I don't
I'd
know
have
for a
died.
fact.
I'd have died. I was doing enough drugs to kill several people every day. And if I hadn't have been locked away from it, then yeah, I'd have died. And I wouldn't have learned about men. I wouldn't have learned about how to, take care of truly myself. Because that's what the penitentiary taught me, was I had to look out for old number one. And then if I had any way of helping other people, I could. But it all started with old number one.
Right.
But yeah, at the time you're questioning, well, why am I here? Why blah blah blah. Well, now looking back on it, I can really recognize that. Okay, well, man, after I come home from prison, I met my wife, then I had my son, and then we bought our home, and it's like, okay, well, it's like, all right, things worked out. It sucked, but we lived through it, and now it's like, okay, now you got a good story. Like kind of like when you go out and you get in trouble with your buddies. Well, it just turns out to be a good story 20 years later. It sucked at the time, but it was a good story 20 years down the road, man. So, but that's all part of our testimony too, I think. Like
Yeah.
life that you've lived, life that Bill's lived, life that I've lived, life that others has lived. I think that's what makes your testimony. I think the best way for me to share a lot of times with people that's been on drugs or alcohol or been to prison and thought that they couldn't get a grip on things again is to just tell them what I've had to do, the things I've had to go through, what it took for me to say, okay, felon or not, I still want to own a home. I still want to get my gun rights back. I still want to be able to vote one day. Okay, it took me 20 years. Was it worth it? Heck yeah, because I went and voted this past year for the first time ever in my
Amen.
life. You know,
Really?
uh,
Ever in your
so
life? Congratulations.
ever got my gun rights back last year. I wasn't even allowed to be around a weapon. And guys, I was not a violent offender, man. I
Right.
got locked up for drugs, man. A dude wore a wire on me, but that was hey, you got a felony charge now. That's what you got to deal with. And
Right.
as I start
You
reaching
took
for what,
accountability, and
yeah, well,
look at how what you benefited.
as we talked before, Todd, that was truly before I ever took my first step truly forward, was truly taking accountability. Where did I truly go wrong? Stop
Amen.
blaming everything else. Where did God go wrong. And then once I put a plant there, then I was able to take off and move on from it, man.
I was
It was
Because
just that little
everybody
seed.
gets into that woe is me, you're playing the fiddle crying.
The little fiddle,
Oh, I
right?
can't get a job I can't go be a cop now because I'm a felon. Well, you should have thought about that before you become a felon if you wanted to be a cop or if
That's
you wanted to
true.
be, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
but there is
So
jobs out there. That's my encouragement to people. Like Bill said before, it's like, okay, you take that circumstance now. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's just going to make you tougher. You go out and ask for a job 4 or 5 times. That's how I look at it. If I really want a job there and I know I'm qualified for the position, and go ask for the job 3 or 4 different times. Whether they give it to you or not, you make an impression on them just by showing. Hey, around my parts, I'm gonna tell you what, guys. I was fortunate enough that my boss man was waiting on me to come home when I got out of prison. He wanted me back to work, and I kept that job. But I mean, in my area, there's not that many jobs. So if you
Can't
get a
imagine there
job,
is.
you better treat it right. You better show up because it ain't gonna be there the next day. I was so thankful when I come home from the penitentiary that I had my job as a carpenter back and making decent money right out the gate, because that was a true blessing. Because truthfully, I understood the men's position that come home with me. Like, dude, there ain't much around here, and I ain't got a driver's license. There ain't no buses that run. There's no kind of at that point there wasn't no Ubers or no kind of nothing like that. And it's like, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. But at the same time, you can waste your time crying about it or just go get a job. Anything, whatever it is, just start.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know,
So
man.
Yeah,
no.
you know.
So
You know,
what I'm
brother.
gonna ask y'all, I'm gonna
All
ask y'all, because I'm definitely gonna have to get off of here. So,
Right, I know.
but what I'm gonna ask y'all is to please be on the panel tonight for the after show. So if y'all
Okay.
can, it's eight
Okay.
from 8 to 9. It's after the Iron Sharpening Iron
Okay.
show. I'm asking y'all to be on the panel. So I got a really good guest coming on. I
Okay.
think once the show's over, because I think I like the conversation, and I think even if we go in that direction with the guests, we'll get some good conversation. So I'm asking y'all to be on the
We'll be there.
panel. So
Yeah.
I'll be
if
there
y'all can
too.
do
Okay.
So
that
I'll
for
be
me, I
there for the
appreciate
7
that. Yeah,
o'clock. I'll be there for 7
yeah,
o'clock, and I'll be there
Yeah.
for the after show.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I want to know the
So
subject. I want to be able to talk
yeah.
about it.
But I definitely I'm gonna have to
Thank
go
you.
Yep.
because
Thank you so
we've been
much.
on here. Where we been
3 hours, three and a half
three and a
hours.
half hours. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Guy. Thank you for
yeah,
being serious.
yeah.
I appreciate it. Look at how everything ends with a smile. It's the
No,
best
yeah,
thing
yeah.
ever.
That's it. Yeah.
Everybody
So
feels like they
Hey,
got their
you
time.
put us 3 on screen, dude. Well, I mean, we go
it's
4
gonna be.
hours
It's
like it's
gonna be.
nothing,
Right.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm
So
all bug eyed
Time
looking at you
flies,
over
man.
here,
oh
like,
yeah.
When you're having a good time and you're
I
talking
love.
about things that are nurturing, you
So
have a good time.
everyone
Love you
that's been
all.
out there, I see Boogie Time there, Tajmir's there, Miles. Thank you for hanging with us
thank
this
you.
night. It's meeting you, and everyone else that's out there. I'm gonna
Wow.
say good night to you all. But
I am so
they've
sorry,
been
everybody. I love you.
yeah.
I
So
love
they've been
all of these
hanging in
people. I
there.
love you guys.
Yeah. But I don't want to jump on another subject or anything
No,
because
no,
we'll
no, no.
run
We're
this
going. We're
thing.
going. We're
Hey,
going.
We gotta go. So I love you
guys,
both.
thank
Thank you so
y'all.
much.
Peace.
Have a
God
good one,
bless
Great
you. I'll
brother.
talk to you.
conversation.
Peace.
All
See you
right.
tonight. See you
Yep.
tonight,
Later.
Bill.
See you
Yep.
later,
Be
brother.
there,
Thank you.
man. Yep.
Mm.
Y'all be good.
Yeah.
Look at Tajmir. Good night. And then you got, okay, Boogie Time. I